Yes, people, big up to everyone. Welcome back to the first episode of the Mud Brothers Show of 2025, but it is also episode number 40, which is crazy that we're already on episode number 40 of this crazy show. But you guys already know how it goes. Make sure you guys obviously run up the likes and subscribe if you haven't already. For anybody new who's going to be watching this live right now, or anybody who's going to be watching it back, just a little bit about the show is it's called the Mud Brothers Show, even though technically we can say some of us are not Mud Brothers currently, but it consists of a United fan like myself and also Spooby, who is normally on the channel. We also do have Chelsea fans, CP and Prime, who will be talking everything about Chelsea. We have a Spurs fan, M. De Niro, who unfortunately won't be making it today, but we do have a stoppage time substitution, I would say. And then we also have a Arsenal fan, which is normally Eli, but he won't be joining us today. We will be having somebody else joining us for that too. So pretty much today's video is going to be we're going to talk a little bit about our past results. So obviously Ipswich beating Chelsea. Chelsea fans will give us our thoughts on that. United losing yet again. It's just becoming a regular pattern at this point where we're just dropping points all the time. So we lose again to Newcastle. We're going to talk about that. And then Arsenal fans obviously getting a win over Brentford yesterday, which I'm still pissed about, to be honest, but we're going to get their thoughts on that too. And then towards the end of the stream, and in between as well, we're going to kind of give our overlook on 2025 and what we want to see from our clubs. And then towards the end of the stream, we will be doing a team of the season so far. So big up to everyone in the chat. Let me show some love before we do obviously introduce the co-panelists. I see Steve in here. Big up to Steve. Make sure you guys do subscribe to Strasbourg Steve channel. This guy is a absolute man of football. I call him the football encyclopedia. He knows every single thing. So definitely follow him, and he's really good at bingo as well. So big up to Steve every single time. Big up to Coach's Corner. Subscribe to his channel too. Shout out Hanno every single time he says, yo, happy new year to you all. Happy new year to you as well, fam. Happy new year to you. Let's see who else we got. Big up to Abdallah. I think this is Abs from the Twitter group chat. So if you're in the group chat, appreciate you, bro, for always showing support. And he says, large up my guy Sheik. Happy new year, guys. Happy new year to you as well, bro. Hope you had a great new year celebration, and hope you have a great rest of your year ahead too. Shout out to Shegs. He says, morning, you scrub. This is another guy who, you know, occasionally makes his appearance on this channel whenever Chelsea are doing good, to be honest. But big up to Shags every single time. Big up to CP, who's part of the panel. He says, big happy new year to everyone in the chat. The B-Tech Spooby is absolutely awful. Who are you talking about, B-Tech Spooby? Is this B? Am I supposed to be B-Tech Spooby? But elaborate, please. But yeah, shout out to Spooby every single time. He's supposed to be here on the show today, so that it could be he could just show up. You never know, but yeah, we'll see. Big up to Abdullah as well. That's one of my friends from back here, so big up to you, bro. Appreciate you supporting the channel too. But let's pretty much get into it. First but not least, we'll introduce our Spurs substitution for this stream today. Big up to Casper as well. Happy New Year, Sheik. This year your channel will be flying. I appreciate that, bro. I really appreciate that. And you also have been supporting a lot, so I really appreciate all your support, bro. But like I said, we have a guest today, Spurs substitution. I have worked with him, I think, on 2 different shows on Hassam's channel, and yeah, he's also one of the YouTubers that I've been watching a lot and up and coming. And yeah, man, it's an absolute honor to have him on the channel. So we gotta introduce man like George Durag Diaries. Yes, bro. What are you saying?
Yes, bro. Thank you for having me first. It's good to make my debut on Chic TV. Big up to everyone in the chat. And as you said, man, super sub. Like, we're doing it, Man United days. You call me Chicharito today, yeah?
No, we could. Man, we really could use a super sub. I think both our clubs could, to be honest, at this point with the way that we're moving. But big up to you. Obviously, appreciate you being on the channel every single time. And yeah, make sure you guys do subscribe to his channel. Also, link is in the description. It is Durag Diaries on YouTube. So real quick, just grab your phone, go ahead to Durag Diaries, subscribe to him, and also smash a like on this video too. Make sure you guys support everyone on the channel as well, people. But yes, next we'll introduce the Chelsea guys. You know, this is these guys said they were chill guys and stuff like that, but a lot has changed since then. Some of us told us that they were not in the title race, and they were right, even though I shamelessly was saying that you guys are in the title race. But we'll introduce both the Chelsea guys together. We have CP in the building, and we also have Prime in the building. Yes, guys, what are you guys saying?
Big up. That's like we know our club, eh? That's like we know our club. It's like we know our club.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But yeah, let's pretty much get into all the madness. We're gonna start off with Spurs. So we're gonna talk about the game against Wolves, your draw against Wolves at home 2-2. Kind of similar to how United are doing at this moment. Spurs are a little, even though I would say we're a lot worse because we're losing games just left and right. Whereas you guys do obviously sometimes, have an occasional good performance where you win, and then it's just like what Gattuso said. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. But yeah, tell us your thoughts about the Wolves game, bro.
Yeah, man. The Wolves game is one of those ones where obviously looking at going into the game, we knew what happened against you guys. They had a large up to Abs, man. That's an OG right there. Looking at the result they got against you guys, we always knew it was going to be a tough one. Cunha's been dangerous, and they've got like a little new manager bounce at the moment with their new manager, Vito Ferreira, and they're playing some good football, to be fair to them. They're actually playing decent, so I always knew it was going to be a tough game. But the way that it played out was a bit disappointing. Obviously, Ange made some tactical tweaks, changed the system ever so slightly after being questioned time and time again. Large up to Primary as well, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Prime.
And look, he made the tweaks and the changes, and similar to you guys, you can make tactical changes as much as you want, but if the quality is not there in player, you're not going to see much of a difference on the pitch. And ultimately, that's what happened. I feel like we were suffering from being a bit leggy, match sharpness, the build-up of fixtures currently using just a small squad. We're down to bare bones right now. So it's caught up to us 100%. And unfortunately, we couldn't battle it out with Wolves for the 90 minutes. After about 55, 60 minutes, you sort of started to see Spurs trail off in the game. Wolves started to really take some control, and Tottenham just didn't have enough in the locker to get through. We didn't have enough intensity throughout the game to try and maintain what we had started off with. And yeah, it's one of those ones, just a bit tough to take on the chin. At least we didn't lose, honestly. And a point right now, being Spurs and Man United is huge because we just can't get wins out of anywhere. So a point is a point, but ultimately, it's a disappointing one because we led the game for 45 minutes just to let ourselves down 5 minutes before the end of the game. And it's one of those ones where, as a Spurs fan, you always knew it was coming because we've had this happen so many times. I was having PTSD of what they done last season when they scored 2 goals in the 90th minute to beat us after we led for 90 minutes. So with Wolves, you always knew it was going to be a dangerous game with a dangerous team, but yeah, it's just a bit disappointing the result just to be a draw in it because those are the games where you need 3 points. And with the fixtures we've got coming up, again, similar to you guys, it doesn't get any easier. It's just getting tougher. And we've already messed up in those games where you feel like the Nottingham Forest, the Wolves, these are the games where I know they're good teams, but they're the games where you look at your teams to pick up 3 points. And then you can look at the games like Newcastle and Arsenal, and then these are the games you can accept a point in and be like, oh, do you know what? Newcastle's a tough team. We get a point against Newcastle. That's a good point. But now you're going into them. They're must-win games. And yeah, man, we're literally playing every team you play. We're playing them just after you. Like, you've got Liverpool this weekend. You've had Newcastle. We got them this weekend. You got Liverpool this weekend. We got them midweek. And then you got Arsenal, and then we got Arsenal. We're literally playing every team after you play them. So hopefully you can do something to help us out because that's exactly what we need right now.
Don't rely on us, man. Don't rely on us. We're terrible, man. We're absolutely. We just give 3 points to everyone at this point.
Literally.
But a couple of questions though, and these are some questions that I did want to ask, and people have asked in the chat too. Obviously, since this is your first time on the Mud Brothers show, kind of just like if you could just talk about like where you stand with Ange, with Spurs itself, because I know I've spoken to you about it on different shows. Is it more of like, do you think he's going to get sacked if results do continue? But also, just where do you stand on this whole situation? Do you think it's kind of Ange's fault, or there's stuff that he could have changed, or it's more so on the owners not being able to recruit well enough in the summer, and this is why he has to bring off these options off the bench? So yeah, what would you say?
I look at this season, and prior to the season, my expectation, obviously, the expectation is always higher than the realism of where you would expect, like where you're actually going to finish. So I expected, with a very good turnout of the season, we could push on to top 4. But I always knew this team's level was around 5th or 6th, just with the lack of summer signings, with the lack of first team signings. You only brought Dom Solanke into that first team. The rest of the players were all built in. But they're all of them were 18, 19-year-olds. And Yamin Hyuk, Archie Gray, Lucas Berthel, these are all kids that literally came in to help bolster the squad and sort of just bring that age profile down for us. But ultimately, I think where we landed at right now is just it's down to poor squad planning. Tottenham didn't do enough in the summer, didn't do enough prior to this window to prepare ourselves for the 4 competitions that we have in front of us. We made our squad, we trimmed our squad from last year, and since Ange has come in, sort of his job has to be to trim the squad further and further so we can get rid of all the deadwood. But then now we brought ourselves into a situation where this season where we've got our smallest squad we've had over the past 4 to 5 years. We don't even have a 25-man squad. It's a young squad, so the squad's even younger than it was before. And we're playing more games than we've had to play than the last couple of seasons because we're actually performing decent in the Carabao Cup. We're now in the semi-final. In Europa League, we're doing decent, and there's more games in Europa League due to the structural change to the whole to the whole of the Europa League in general. So everything's getting harder, but Spurs didn't plan for it getting harder. It's like we planned for it to get easier, or figured, Ange just gonna. Things are magically going to fall into place and we're going to be all right. I think it was just poor from the higher-ups, but also from Ange to push on to the higher-ups because he knows more than anyone the football he plays is high intensity, high pressing, and the sustainability of it it's not sustainable unless you have the right squad for it. Ange should have known this. And now, definitely going throughout the season with all the injuries we're suffering, there's no way that Ange cannot take some responsibility for it because there has been times where he's not been using or trying to maximize the squad usage with the likes of Jed Spence, who's only just started to come into the fold over the past couple of games, but has been around for the past 3 months, wasn't admitted into the Europa League squad. And then just a few other players you can look at that he didn't want to use early in the season that he's now being forced to use. He probably should have maximized the use of his squad a bit earlier. And ultimately, he needs to adjust the system sometimes in games. He needs to make the tactical tweaks like we saw against Wolves. But I do think, in my position personally, that Ange is definitely the manager to take us forward. I just feel like we need to back Ange. We need to give him the right players. We need to show in this window that we're serious about, backing him and being behind him, because this club, all we hear consistently is the board doesn't want to sack him. The board's fully behind the vision of Ange. They're fully behind this. And, all the murmurs, Man United, you're used to this, Sheik, because the club loves to sell stories, but you don't actually take no action. I need to see the action in the transfer window, not all this, the club's going to be backing him. Show me in that transfer window that you're going to back this manager. And we'll see 100%, though. I do agree with what you said there. If the results don't get better, Tottenham will be forced into a position to sack him, because ultimately a manager just can't continue to lose games, and not be at fault for it. He's going to have to be reprimanded for it. And if results don't get better real soon, then ultimately Spurs are going to have to sack him. Now, I'm not going to be happy about it, but I do agree that let's just say we look at our next 3 games, Newcastle and Liverpool and Arsenal, they are tough games, but ultimately we're Spurs, we're a top club. You need to get results in these games. If you lose all 3 of them, then boy, you're probably going to be looking at your job. You might have to get sacked. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, man, I completely agree. It's funny because a lot of our situation is very, very similar. And I was going to ask you another question too. We get this a lot. Me and you, I'm sure we get this a lot, where are we at a stage where we want Ruben to change? Like, I want Ruben or Ange to change the system, like go back to a back 4 or like stuff like that. Me, I'm not so sold by that. It's more so like this is just the issue that every single manager has had, where they have played to or they've accustomed to the players, and then that's eventually why they're not at the club anymore. And like, yes, to a certain point, like you said, there are certain tweaks that you can make. Just for an example, like for United, I kind of want Ahmad to go back into the wing back because we were actually winning games and we were playing much better than how we have since he's gone into the 10 and since Mazraoui's been moved to a wing back. So tweaks like that you can make, and it's like you kind of have to, because like you said, at this point, performances are cool, and I see what Ruben's trying to build, and I see what Ange is trying to do too, but it's a results business at the end of the day, especially with the magnitude of our clubs, where we currently are at the table too. It is 100% a results business, and like you said too, actions definitely speak louder than words. I know Spurs will probably go into the January transfer window trying to get some signings, but it's more so like what type of signings will you make? Because I feel like that's also been an issue at Spurs, is that you have gone into windows to try to sign people, but it's not always been the right personnel.
We always take opportunities. The problem with Spurs, we'll look at this window, and do you know, I look at a club like Aston Villa and say that's the right way to recruit.
Yeah,
You've seen the windows open one day, and it's like they're making a bid for Donny Marlon. They've identified a player they want. They're going out to get them within 2 days of the window. Tottenham will sit around for 2 weeks, waiting to see how the window's playing out, what players are moving where, and then wait for a club to be like, oh yeah, I don't need this player no more. Like a Kolo Muani who's been sat there the whole time. I don't really rate him, but this is the type of thing what Tottenham will do is we'll go and pick up the opportunity and be like, oh, they've made him available. Let's go for him. Oh, you made him available. Let's go for him. And it's not really, trying to pinpoint a player or pinpoint a type of player we want and then build around that way. So, yeah, Spurs have done it wrong so many times in the past. I just need to see change.
Yeah, definitely. App says, Brother Sheik, I'll be real, as much as Amarim has done stupidness, you have too many scrubs in your team. I agree. Tottenham have a few guys who can be functional, but most of your players aren't. I'll be real. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. One also big difference with them and us is that they have some injuries, which are big injuries to their squad. Like they have basically some of their starters who are not playing, whereas we have all our starters playing. And we're shit. Like that's just we have all our starters there. We have everybody pretty much fit, bar Luke Shaw, but nobody cares about Luke Shaw like that anyways. But we have pretty much every strength in terms of like our strongest 11 there, and they're not doing anything at all. So it's like that's kind of the difference. And I agree with you. Like I think I've always backed Ange. Like I like Ange as a manager, and I feel like the situation at Spurs and what he's going through could be with any other manager as well. Like I feel like if you sack Ange, I feel like it's going to be the same thing with the next manager. It just comes down to the board, obviously, focusing more on the on-field stuff, because everyone likes to talk about how Spurs are, they have the most profit and they make so much money through their stadium sales and ticket sales and all that type of stuff. But it's more so like, okay, if you're making all that money, why don't you actually invest it into the most important part of the club, which is buying the players? Because I feel like even 1 or 2 additions in this squad could definitely push you a lot higher than where you currently are, 100%. So, that's where I kind of stand with Spurs. And my question to you is, because M. De Niro has talked about this, he's a Spurs fan who's kind of like, I get this, like he's more so like, I'm checked out. Unless things are going to change, I'm not really going to be like, not support the team, but be like watching the team like that, because he's kind of like fed up at this point with all the results that have happened this season. But his thing is always that if you win a trophy, that's always been his thing. Like I think everything that Spurs need to do right now is like win a trophy. So same question to you. If you guys end up having the season that you're having, and let's say you don't finish, top 4, let's say you don't even finish like top 6, but you end up winning the Carabao Cup, where do you stand in terms of the season for Ange? Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, at this point, winning a trophy is a successful season for any manager, I suppose. No matter where we finish, just because the trophy drought has been so long, it's justified that if we finish, even if we did just finish 14th, let's just say, but he won a trophy, it's not a successful season, but he's saved his job to give him another season because he's shown the ability to get the job done in the other competitions. And ultimately, I think for the league-wise, we can look at the context of half of this season so far and see why Spurs have done so poorly in the league. But I will sit here and say, as a fan, the Carabao Cup's not good enough for me, innit? Like I don't rate the Carabao Cup very highly, so I'd still be hugely disappointed. But it does buy him some more time, and I mean, it means he lives up to his word, doesn't he? He always wins something in his second season. So,
I mean, he already I feel like some Spurs. I think it would change a lot in terms of opinions, because Prime knows, we know some Spurs fans who still rate Poch. We know some Spurs fans who, it's mainly just Poch, and we're obviously about the whole Mourinho sacking too. Didn't necessarily agree with that, but I feel like a lot of things would change in terms of that if Ange does get you that trophy, because he's technically that manager. Even though Poch got you to a Champions League final and you had all that successful stuff around him and the way that you were playing then, didn't win you a trophy. And end of the day, Ange is that person who has come in with all this that has been going around at the club too, and is still able to lift some sort of like silverware. So I kind of definitely see it as like, okay, you definitely need to the question is that, okay, what if we did back Ange, and what could we achieve if we did back Ange then, if he still ends up winning a Carabao Cup this season? So I hear it. let's get the rest of the panel thoughts. Big up to you, Don C, by the way, too. I know you just joined really late.
Big up.
But we'll kind of do like a panelist discussion. And if you guys have any questions for George in terms of Spurs as well. But yeah, what do you guys think about Spurs this season? The 2-2 draw against Wolves. What are we saying? Spurs need to lift their arms for once. Shout out to Penkino, big up. But yeah, what are you guys saying? Prime CP, Don C, Spurs. Spurs.
You know what? Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan in it, so anything that comes out of my mouth is going to be disrespectful.
Oh yeah, I just know. Yeah. Go on.
Okay. All right. Nice to meet you, brother. Yeah. I hate your team.
Section. There you go. So
I know. I could tell. So as soon as I said about Spurs being a big club,
yeah. I was going to put them in the private chat too, Don C. I saw that.
Wait, you said Spurs are a big club?
No. George was saying Spurs are big.
George, welcome to my brothers.
George was saying that, and then Don C said
I had my way.
I must have blanked. I missed that. Never mind. Sorry.
If I had my way, there will be no big six conversation with Spurs. And the only reason why I say that is I would say no disrespect, but it's all disrespect to your team because I don't like your team. Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And the only reason why I say this, is because historically, if you look at every single one on this panel's team, right, historically, just in the Premier League, we've won so much. So we can class ourselves as the big six or being inside the big six. With Spurs, they've only won one Carling Cup, right? One Carling Cup, yeah. And with that one Carling Cup,
we've won in the Premier League era. We won 2 League Cups and I think an FA Cup in the Premier League.
Okay, 2 League Cups and an FA Cup. But to be classed as the big team in England with the Premier League, even Leicester did it.
You're right.
As bad as they are, as much as you say, because Leicester has won that and the FA Cup as well. That's what I'm saying.
True.
Back in those days, the Carling Cup, Carabao Cup, whatever it was supposed to be for the teams that's at the bottom of the table. Oh yeah, so Man United might win it this season. Then big up them in it, 14th and all that. But for me, Tottenham, like I just find your fans spoke for no reason. I understand why Chelsea fans are spoke. I even understand why Liverpool fans are spoke, and Man United definitely, and even mine, because through the Premier League era, we've won so much. And it's not just good football we've just played. We've backed it with trophies. Yeah. If you don't win the Carling Cup, and I say this, I'm going to actually say this with respect. If you don't won the Carling Cup, right, you don't deserve it. You deserve it because unfortunately, Postecoglou and your fans have sold your club dreams. So much of your club dreams, what we're going to win. I win things in my second season. We all know Tottenham. The only thing that you're guaranteed to get with Tottenham is 3 points at the lane. We all know this, yeah, and I'm trying to say this with as much respect as possible. But when it comes to your team, historically, they used to call Arsene Wenger especially a failure, or Mourinho did, yeah. That's Tottenham's club. We go there, we laugh because we know that you're not gonna play some kind of good football throughout the seasons, and then at the end of the year, you're not gonna win nothing. It's like this year. Tell me one season when you can actually put your hand in your heart and say you've actually competed for the league.
We have. It's funny because Arsenal fans will sit there and tell us about these past 2 seasons where you guys have done so much, but in Pochettino, we've done the exact same thing you guys done these past 2 years. We challenged for the league with Chelsea. Chelsea fans will remember they only finished 5 points ahead of us when Conte won it. We challenged for the league that year. And then obviously the year prior to that, when Leicester won it, we was there and thereabouts for most of the year until we fell off at the end of the season when we realised that, again, the league was done and fell into Leicester's favour. So definitely say we challenged for the league 2 times very recently. It didn't work out. And ultimately, like we're seeing with Arsenal right now, I think it leads your team to regress, leads your team to fall back a bit. And we're seeing Arsenal, you guys look decent, but you don't look good enough to win the league. And
no.
That's been the problem, obviously.
I just want to say I would love a North London Derby Carabao Cup final. I would just love that. That would be absolutely sensational.
No,
I'll do a stream. I'll do a watch along. I'll do a match reaction. I'll do everything for that game, man.
It's fine. We'll donate to the little brothers. It's fine. We'll just donate to the little brothers. Okay.
You guys can't afford to donate. You ain't won a trophy in how long? You're talking about donate trophies.
Hey, see, to Don C, to flip it to you though, the question to you: if they do end up winning a trophy under Ange, that's the same tally that Arteta's won in 2 seasons. In 2 seasons, that Ange did in 2 seasons.
if they win, for me personally, we all know, like Sheik, you know,
we know your thoughts. Yeah, I know your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I don't think Arteta's good enough. Yeah, and I believe with the money that we spent and the transitions that we've made, if we don't win one of the big two, Arteta needs to fuck off, and he's not, and he's not going to leave anytime soon. Yeah, and I'm so real when it comes to Arsenal. I know my place with Arsenal. Yeah, I want more from my team. Yeah, and the reason why I want more from the team because historically I've seen my team win the FA Cups, the Premier League, and so forth. All right, and the money that we've spent. Okay, I'm trying not to talk about net spend because that's no here nor there. Yeah, but but the reality is the players that we brought in. Yeah, the positions that we've been in the last 2 years. If we go backwards from this point, we've only got one person to blame. All right, just because when it comes to my team. I expect them to see exactly what the rest of us are seeing, striker-wise, right wing-wise, left wing-wise, left back-wise, in the middle of the park. Yeah. If you can't address those issues, get the fuck out of my club. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because bro, I know it's the first time me meeting you, but I'll never be one of those Arsenal fans that will sit there and say, do you know what? Yeah, we come second. We got our second place trophy. Do you know what? Yeah, it's all about the banter. It's all about the vibe. Let's hug like Zinchenko. No, fuck that shit. I'm total opposite. Yeah, I'll give it to you straight. I love my club, but I hate the spot that they put me in all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's okay. The only reason why I hate your club is because you're my local rivals. Yeah, you're the club I go to for banter. Not, and all respect. Yeah, if you don't win the trophy, do you know what? Yeah, I'll applaud you, lot, because you know what? Yeah, at the end of the season, you deserve to win it, no matter how you played. But I just hope you don't, because I don't like the banter. I've got too many Tottenham fans as family members.
I hope I see you in that final. I want Arsenal in that final. I said
Let's
I want
go,
you
man. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm
obviously,
talking about.
We got the harder team to face before them. So we got
Oh, who's that? Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're not reaching the final then. See you next year.
No, fair. CP, I know you got something cooked up, man. Go on, floor's yours.
First I just gotta say a little shout out Don C because he's doing this whole like kumbaya thing. I'm not about that this year still. So he was talking about the two major trophies. Well, you're gonna compete for one of them, dude, the FA Cup, because you can't be talking about the Champions League. You've never won it. So those are the major two, right? The Prem and the FA Cup, right? It can't be the Champions League because you've never won it.
Everybody, you don't care.
Sorry.
Go on,
said
go on.
He said big two. I was like, what big two do you mean? Sorry. Wow. Also for Spurs, here's the thing. You guys aren't gonna do anything. You're not gonna go anywhere. Nothing's gonna change. You're the not even the B Tech. You're like the E Tech Man United. You know what I'm saying? Great marketing. You're gonna have shitty ownership. Can't have good money, but not enough like Manchester United. You're gonna buy decent players, not as good enough as Manchester United. And are not going to win trophies just like Manchester United. That's the issue. It's the entire hierarchy. It's all messed up, and it's never going to change for you guys.
Hey, relax. We just won a trophy last year, okay? Like, just relax.
Yeah, the Carabao Cup, nice. I mean, the FA Cup. One of the major two for Arsenal. One of the major two for Arsenal. Fair enough. I get you.
I'm just saying, shit season, we still lift the trophies,
But here's the thing. It's not even the money. You guys are spending money. Your recruitment is so ass.
It's a recruitment, yeah.
It's so ass.
Timo Werner 2 years in a row. Oof.
Dude, you didn't even buy him. You
just loaned him. Yeah.
It's a loan, but the wages he's on is like at 100. I think he's at 120 to 130K a week. Yeah, something like that. A week. Dude, that's a lot, still a good amount of money of wages, and there's rules about in a way like a Premier League salary cap happening next year. So what, you're gonna loan him again? That's wasted wages. And then on top of that, these players are buying like Brendan Johnson for 50 million. That's what I'm saying, right? I'm okay. Let's give an example. Like Nicholas Jackson, we bought him for 35. And that's not a shot at Dom Slacky. I'm saying buy players in that range, but your scouting has to be good enough.
Well, right? I don't think Nicholas Jackson's a good example of that, because we've seen with Nicholas Jackson last year, he was questionable and had a decent season. And then this year started off the season really well. But as of recent, Chelsea fans looking at him and saying, okay, he's not being good enough yet again. And he's still questionable.
I wouldn't say he's not been good enough when we scored a goal every other game statistically. still.
But the statistics, you can say that, but if you want to do the statistics, we look at Brennan Johnson's stats. He's better than most of your wingers. So to say that he's a bad signing, then
no, I'm not saying he's a bad signing. I'm talking about money allocation. We paid 35 million for Nicholas Jackson, while he paid 50 to 55 million for Brennan Johnson.
Brennan Johnson, you have to take into consideration he's a homegrown player. He's English, so that comes with a tax.
Okay, so Cole Palmer was 40 million.
He's not
homegrown
English.
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 No, Welsh. Sorry, Welsh, but he's homegrown. I meant. He's a
okay. Palmer. We got him English.
Palmer again. Palmer's not a player that had any senior experience in any first team football. So when you guys signed him 40 million, it was seen as a bad signing at first until you guys saw him play out and how good he was.
But
when he first come in, £40 million for an academy player that never played first team football isn't a great sign. Let's be honest.
You can't say he never played first team football when he was playing Champions League games.
He played Charity Shield. He didn't play Champions League.
Yeah, but
he played Champions League.
I think his point is like more like experience. Regular first team football.
Palmer's a bad example. A better example.
He got you there.
No, Palmer's a bad example. A better example to use is Madueke. How much does Madueke cost us compared to what you spend on Brennan Johnson?
But again, Madueke was what, 35 million? And then you look at if we say Brennan Johnson,
and that's what
signing from the league like Brennan Johnson.
And that's what Brennan Johnson should be.
If you signed Brennan Johnson from the Eredivisie, he'd have been about 30 million. But Brennan Johnson's effectiveness is about the same as Madueke's on the pitch. Now you can compare their playing styles, very different. But Brennan Johnson's ultimately in front of goal, gets goals. Does Madueke? He has a couple games this season, but his final third decision.
No, but George, that's the point. That's CP's point, though. Money allocation.
Money allocation.
If we're comparing Madueke and Brennan Johnson, and fine, people can say Madueke is not good enough for Chelsea to start either. Fine, I agree.
Yeah, we are not even saying that.
Comparing them, and we got Madueke for 35 mil, and you spent 50 on Brennan Johnson. That's the problem. Your money allocation. If you're gonna buy an average player, then at least spend average player money. Don't spend 50 million.
Also, we didn't spend 100 on Modric. It was 60 million with add-ons.
To be honest, I don't get how Chelsea fans are going to tell me about money allocation. You guys spent 1 billion to get to this point. It's not like you guys had good money allocation. You guys just bought every single player about.
No, can I? Okay, so I can give you some more. I can give you some more examples. Let me give you more examples.
No, but let's just say, okay, fine. We spent 1 billion. That's fine. Fine, but surely we're the best to speak on money allocation. If we've wasted $1 billion, surely we should be. I
don't think so.
On how to spend money properly, then, right?
No, because Prime. Although I agree with like similar to what you're saying, you guys aren't shy in spending money, and you know how to make money. No one can take the fact away from the fact that you guys make money from players. That Chelsea's the best in the league at doing that. But you can't tell me, oh yeah, why don't you scout like us when you sign 12, 13 players? To sort of minimize your scouting effort. So it's not like you're trying to sign 4 players and hope one of those work out. You're signing.
No, but let me answer
this. Prime. At least better than Spurs, because you look at, for people, someone mentioned Mudryk, right? Mudryk doesn't, fine, that's a waste of money, great. But he's not a starter at Chelsea.
What about Nkunku then? Nkunku's been a waste of money for me.
And he's also going to get shipped off.
But how many of these players have been a waste of money? That's my point.
No, the thing with Chelsea is if we buy a player and he doesn't end up working, we'll at least ship him off. You guys will still keep him.
Yeah, that's what you guys are good at, is selling. I think that what it is that you guys have a good network where you can buy. I'm not being funny. You buy from so many teams that like you've already got favors in place for 2 years down the line. Oh yeah, I've spent how much money at this club? Yeah, you guys are gonna spend some money back with us. You take this player. You take this player.
Yeah,
so you guys are good at selling.
But wait, Prem, can I answer something?
When we look at Tottenham's players, you can also look at Man United. You can also look at Arsenal for this, and look at Liverpool. It is hard to get rid of our deadwood players.
That's what I don't think it should necessarily be as hard as what people make it out to be. How can Chelsea?
I just don't think that's a Tottenham problem solely. I think a lot of
I agree. It's not just a Tottenham problem. Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool are poor at doing this, but that's why it confuses me. I don't think it's that difficult to sell players, because it may be he may not be good for like Chelsea or Spurs or whatever, a top 6 club, but a player could still work for a mid-table club. Look at Alanga.
That's the thing also. I think Chelsea don't have a problem selling to other teams in the Premier League. A lot of other Premier League teams like us, we don't like selling to other Premier League clubs. We don't want to strengthen another team that could potentially, especially younger players as well, players that you think could still have potential. We're not going to sell to another Premier League club in case they blow up and it comes back to bite us. That's just how
George, I'll give you. so out of the billion we spent, right? We spent 700 million on the squad, right? And the first 200 of that was without a sporting director because that's when the ownership took over, and that's when we got Koulibaly and everything. So we're not counting that one. We're counting the 500, right? You could say however we spent it on the squad, right? Because the other 400 is on future investment. Like we got Andres Santos right now, who's arguably the best midfielder in the French league right now, that we just bought for 20 million in Brazil. I don't know. He's literally winning Young Player of the Year like Saliba would. He's gonna win that. That's how good he is, and goal scoring and assisting.
But we've not seen him for Chelsea. That's all.
No.
Nice.
No. But But I'm saying, even if he doesn't have to play for Chelsea, we only bought him for 20. We're easily gonna sell him for 40 if he wants. You know what I'm saying? We're making.
That's the thing. That's the difference between you and other clubs, though. Naturally, Chelsea, for one, they have that Todd Bowley network where don't they own other clubs? Strasbourg's another club that you guys own.
We just own one club. We just own one other club.
That's where he's on loan currently. So
no, but bro, that's not But this isn't just Todd Bowley. Though. We were doing this with Roman.
No, you're doing this under Roman because Roman had that same network. Though you guys would buy so many players and you would make money off the fact that you're going to sell all these young players. Us as other clubs, we do that model, but we just don't do it on a high level like you guys. We try to bring these.
But why is it we're the only club, top 6 club in England that does it? Because Bayern Munich do this as well. Real Madrid do this.
It's just that you guys have a high turnover in your academy. You have a really good academy for one of the best in the country. So you can afford to have a high turnover in your academy because a lot of those players are going to go out on loan. They're going to get sold for strong fees. Like Man City, I'm sure you've seen Man City over the past 2 years have had this past 3 years. Their academy is so strong that they've been able to sell academy players like Palmer, like Trafford, like Bazunu, like Lavia. All these players are all getting sold straight from the academy for 15 to 20 million pounds. Chelsea's had that for so long. Man United doesn't have that. Although they have a talented academy, they don't have that. Arsenal have a talented academy, but they don't have that. Nor do Tottenham, nor do Liverpool. We all have talented academies, but none to the level of a Chelsea and Man City because you guys focus on that youth recruitment at such a high level.
Yeah, but that's first of all, I don't like. I'm probably one of the only few Chelsea fans that doesn't actually rate our academy. I don't think it's as good as what people
Prime. I think our academy doesn't produce high. Okay. Sorry.
No. I know, but my point isn't our academy. Second of all, Man City and Chelsea are able to buy a lot of players. That's why we can sell our academy players for profit. But when you look at Spurs and Arsenal, maybe even a Man United in this case, you guys spend spending what Man United spent on Højlund, for example. Are you telling me there's not someone in the academy that can play off top? Look at Arsenal. You spent how much on Calafiori, but now look at Miles Lewis-Skelly playing. You're wasting money when you have talented players in your academy that can do it. At least for Chelsea,
the thing is, Prime, the reason
we make money, but for you guys, you don't make money like we do on players. So you might as well use the talent in your academy to supplement them.
The reason why teams haven't been opting to use the talent in the academy is because to battle, let's be honest, in the position that Arsenal are, where they're trying to battle on all 4 fronts or trying to go for the league per se, can't afford to throw academy boys into that race when you have Manchester City, who have 2 top players in every position. So you're trying to match the best team in the league and you're trying to replicate what they're doing. So you're not you're seeing even up until the last game when Waneri had it. I'm pretty sure it was Waneri's first start, Donsey, right? Yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, yesterday.
That's his first time that he's really had the opportunity after being told time and time again that he's gonna be that top player. But Arteta's been shook to use him.
Yes, but Arsenal, they don't really spend that well. Again, Calafiori, they spent to buy left back. They bought to buy left back. And Miles Skelly looks more comfortable there. So why not just use him instead of wasting money on Calafiori?
The difference
could have used that money. Yeah?
Yeah, the difference is Skelly is a left back. Yeah? Calafiori is a centre back.
I know.
Because the thing that it seems for me with Arteta, he likes handymen. He likes people that can play in different positions instead of a tradesman that can play in one position.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. And that's the only reason why. And the only reason why he's actually playing is because we had so many injuries to the left back, just like Ethan and Yeri. The only reason why he's playing at right wing is because Saka's injured and Sterling's injured. So it's more forceful. Yeah. And it's just like the reason why Saka's actually in the team. Yeah. Because we had an injury to Tierney when Fink was in charge. Everyone was in charge.
Yeah.
And then Saka came through. That's why he came through. So it's not like we're using our youth because we used to have a very talented youth system, very talented. We had like so many left backs, right backs, whatever. It's just lately, it's like George said, and that's what I want to touch on, because of the emergence of Man City. Because Man City was running away with the league season after season, right? Because they had two or three players in each position, we couldn't afford to put a young player in that position because, like, football is a now basis. It's a results based. So if you're not winning now, then what are you doing for us? It's just like each and every one of our managers. Look at Ten Hag. He got the chop after winning 2 cups, right? Why is that? Yeah, Potts got you lot out of a run. He was never good for you, but look what. But so why are you calling for it? Why did he get sacked? Ange Postecoglou, yeah, he's put you lot in a good position because he makes you the style of football that you play. Yeah, cool. I'll be honest, yeah, it's good. But why are Spurs fans wanting Spurs fans wanting to get out? Because we live in a results-based business. Yeah. And the one thing which I do agree with, another thing I do agree with, George, is that when it comes to Chelsea, they have a great recruitment. I don't know who they have or who they're buying, yeah, or whatever money underneath the table allegedly, yeah. You don't have a great transfer system in place. Is what I'm saying. I wish my team had it instead of buying players like Calafiori, instead of getting players like Havertz. You get what I'm saying? Instead of spending 100 mil on Declan Rice.
And I feel like the one thing you didn't mention, Prime, or maybe didn't get round to is, especially with Chelsea, I feel like you could probably count one good signing for every 5 bad signings you guys have.
No, I disagree. It's 50-50.
No, there's no way it's 50-50.
Can I give you some? No, can I give you some? Okay. We bought Malagusto for £18 million as a backup right back, and he's well good enough. You can say that last season. Okay,
he's been all right at times, but he's
this season.
No. This season he hasn't.
Last season he was. Yeah.
Not this season. Last season he was one of the best right backs in this league, and we bought him for 18 million, and he's only 19 years old.
Good last season. It's relevant, like what Don said. Now football is relevant to the now.
Yes, but now you're changing the narrative because we're talking about money allocation, and we only bought him for 18 million, and he's only 20 years old.
That's fine.
18 million. No. So that's good enough for a backup right back. We only spent that much money. We didn't spend stupid money. So that's a decent signing for a backup right back at only 18 million pounds. Okay. We bought a guy in Petrovic who you could say as a starter or backup. He only cost us 12 million. He's out on loan. Huh?
He's a back. How many goalkeepers do you? Don't you have like 7-8 goalkeepers at the moment?
Yes. But we have never spent more than I think the most we spent on one goalkeeper has been 23 million.
The current goalkeeper, yeah.
But then you're telling me about money allocation. Why would you need 7 goalkeepers in your squad?
Because we have because we're also doing this whole draft youth model because we're trying to buy the best running up. So we're trying to basically churn out a second generation so that we can have replacements. So that's what we're saying. Next season we can get rid of KDH and whoever because we have a backup number 8 in Andre Santos coming in.
That would be poor.
I think we're getting away from the point. Though. Yeah. Like Don C mentioned about keeping up with City, which I understand, but in people trying to keep up with City has then resulted in other teams spending, like, wasting money, and I'll even include Chelsea in that as well. Fine,
yeah.
But like at least with Chelsea, if we buy a player, it doesn't work out, we'll get rid of him within max 2 seasons. With Arsenal, with Spurs, with Man United, you guys will keep your players there for 3-4 years. That is a problem. Yeah. And that's my point of, like, again, with Arsenal, Calafiori, well, you have Miles Lewis-Skelly, who's doing well there at left back. So instead of buying Calafiori, maybe use that money, add a bit more, and then go and buy a left winger or go and buy a striker. And that would have helped Arsenal to go challenge for the league and win it. That's my point.
I don't think it was a case of either or. They could have done both. Arsenal will make a lot of money. They didn't spend.
They could have done both. But we know Arsenal won't do both. So that's why, because we know what Arsenal are. So just do the right thing then. But if you're going to buy one, buy the right player.
We're spending that money on Declan Rice and so on. I thought they'd shown that they're willing to go out there and spend money.
But they spent it in the wrong department. We've been screaming for a while for Arsenal that they needed attacking players. I'll continue to say this. If they got a striker, the season they signed Declan Rice, or like they got a good attacking player, I think they win the league. Like honestly, that's something that they've been lacking. So it's not more so like I think ultimately the point is we're going down to recruitment. Is that Chelsea's recruitment, like you can't argue, has been great. The fact that they're out of all the teams, like out of all of us on the panel right now, they're the only team who actually has like a full second squad that they play in the Conference League. And that's something great to have. That's options. You don't even have to take the likes of Cole Palmer in the Conference League to play him there to try to win. So, and they've won all their games in the Conference League.
But even with that, then Sheik, yeah. We've seen over the past couple of games, I take it we're going to move to Chelsea anyway.
Yeah.
Their past couple
we'll go to
games,
Chelsea right now. Yeah, we'll go to Chelsea right now.
We've seen that squad, that so-called second squad they have isn't as strong as what they think, because when those players come in and they're replacing those first team players, what we've seen in those games, they're just not good enough. And they're still relying on looking at Cole Palmer to make something happen. But when you're bypassing Cole Palmer and you're giving the ball to Nkunku a bit more, you're giving the ball to João Felix a bit more, or maybe Madueke, you're not seeing the best of Chelsea no more. So that even second team they have looks good in Conference League because the level of Conference League. When we see it transferred to the Premier League against Everton and Fulham, how good are they? Ipswich done them in as well.
I disagree at that point because Chelsea fans have been having this thing about, because the manager said this, is Nkunku is a 10 and we play him as striker. And that's the issue of why Nkunku doesn't look good. Even when he was in the Bundesliga, he's a shadow striker. He plays good with a 10 and with another striker. Right? That's the issue. We still don't think he's a bad player. We're saying, and Maresca himself has said, I see Nkunku as a 10, but continues whenever he's subbed on and whenever he starts to play him as striker. So that's also on him. That's why we're criticizing. Yes, that's what we've been criticizing the manager. We don't want Maresca out, but we've been criticizing him because you've been saying certain things, but you're not upholding what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right?
So
João Felix has left wing.
This is the best way to segue to the Chelsea segment. And CP, since you're already speaking, we'll go to you. Obviously, Ipswich, I don't think all of us really thought that would be the result. I know you guys were very confident about that game too, but a lot's changed in the past like 3 games, I would say. You guys are now winless in 3, is it?
Yep.
Winless in 3.
Yes.
Because it's been 2 consecutive losses.
1 draw and 2 losses.
So this is the I guess we've talked about this in previous episodes. This is the adversity that I was talking about for Chelsea, and I feel like this is where you'll really find out where you guys are as a squad, where you guys are as a team. This manager too. How does he respond to this adversity? What type of changes does he make? But yeah, definitely surprising. I didn't really watch the game because I think it was at the same time as the United game, so I didn't really watch it. Yeah. But you and Prime, give your thoughts on that. And
I even said this during Everton. I said the manager's cowardly, and that's with regards to substitutions.
Okay, fair enough.
Right, because before the Ipswich game, you could predict who the substitutions were and at what time they were going to be. So between the 70th and 75th minute, he always makes the same substitution, which is Jackson for Nkunku. Then he takes out Neto for Madueke, and then if he's feeling it, then he might bring in João Felix, depending on. But the definite 2 are usually Madueke in and Nkunku's going to be subbed on. He never makes it before then. And the only 2 times he's made it is when the left wing has been so shit that he makes changes at halftime, aka Spurs, and then one other game. That's what we're calling it cowardly, because we're like, dude, you can make these substitutions beforehand. And every time it seems like he doesn't want to concede. But like, if we're losing, then or we're drawing. I'd rather us look like we're going for a goal than trying to stop a goal. Because if you come with the mindset of drawing a game, and we don't have the best defense, right? We don't have the best. If this was prime Chelsea and we're going for the draw, sure, I'm taking it. Hell yeah. But with this defense, I'm not trusting this enough, so I'd rather us go for the goal, right? We've been saying the whole point of us is we're going to outscore teams, right? Yeah, we are Liverpool, Brendan Rodgers, or we are Arsenal like the first season when they're flying high, right? The whole point is us outscoring teams, and he's been very passive with that, and that's where the criticism has been. Right.
So is there any changes that he's made in these past like 3 games as compared to the rest of the games when you guys were on like a good run? Is there anything that he's like?
He started making this weird change in Brentford where we started doing these crosses again, like not ground crosses, like not those crosses, but like in the air crosses when Jackson's not good aerially, and it worked out for Brentford because Cucurella came in with the header. But it's been like, what are we doing this for? And it's also different from the path he took at Leicester when he was at Leicester. Most of the crosses, because they were cross heavy, but were ground crosses, right? Like going to the striker instead of these aerial ones. And we don't have an aerial threat, especially when you're going to sub on Nkunku, right? And if you're going to do this aerial game, then don't sub on Nkunku in the striker position. And I'd rather play that kid named Mark Gay. I mean, not Mark Gay, sorry. Mark Guiu.
Yeah.
Not saying he's better than Nkunku, but he's a natural striker who I know can win headers. He's like a 6'2" guy. I'm gonna give him a chance to win header more than Nkunku, who's 5'9". Right. So these are things he's made, and also the change he made recently was our back line is a bit messed up because of Tosin, because he had the good game against Brentford. He's now the center back, and Colwell used to be the center back, and when it becomes a back three, right? And so Colwell's once again open to wide spaces, which he's the worst at, is covering wide spaces, right? So that's also messed things up. So we'll see. After this loss, probably he's gonna maybe drop Tosin. Also, Reece James is eating grass, touching grass, feeling the grass, dressing with the grass, whatever he does with the grass, because do it every couple of months when he's injured. I get reports about him touching the grass and all the things he does with the grass. So maybe he can finally be match fit and play. So if he does that, I want him to be the right center back. Colwell can be the left center back, and then you can maybe have Cucurella or something like that. He needs to change that up.
Okay.
He needs to change up. And the other thing is, like, people were blaming Jorgensen, and fair enough. That foul, that was definitely a penalty, but
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it was a penalty. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was very soft. Very, very soft.
I thought it was definitely.
But I get it though, because any type of contact there and the guy's gonna fall over and it's
so Sheik, I think it was soft, I agree, but it's no matter what a penalty, right?
And it's also stupidity from him because he actually dived the opposite way, and his foot caught the player,
like the back foot, that's
the back foot caught Delap, which is kind of like, why are you diving that way? But regardless, I didn't think it was a penalty.
So even with that, okay, sure, he's gonna make similar mistakes to Sanchez, let's say, in terms of that, right? But I think they're equal in terms of saving, and he's way better on the ball.
Yeah,
like and I feel more confident with him on the ball. Like, I don't think he's gonna pass to the opponent by accident, like how we lost the game before, right? Fulham, thank you, right? Like, that's the thing. So he needs to get some balls. And he needs to stop also playing Disasi as fucking right back. The reports were he and the sporting directors convinced Jaja Japong to sign the contract because they were going to provide him a pathway. So why the fuck is Disasi still playing right back? Because Ajapong's a natural right back and is good in a back three as a right center back in the youth team, and when he got subbed on for 5 minutes against Spurs last season. Right? Why are you playing Disasi, who's slow as fuck? So in a back three, he's bombing up doing what? He's getting exposed every time. Yeah. So it's these managerial decisions he needs to make, because the squad is good enough. I'm not worried about us not making top four still. I'll be honest with you.
I want to worry about that.
Right.
Too.
And we as Chelsea fans, me and Prime have said, we had to win every game until Man City, and if we won Man City, then my tone will change from not even title challenge to like, we're going for the title. I don't give a fuck about title challenging, title whatever shit. We're going for the league. That's what I would have gone. But we didn't do that, right? And I said, I don't care about challenging. We're top four team until we beat Man City, and we win every game until Man City, and we haven't done that. So we're a top four team. But next season, if we're top four team, I don't care what the sporting directors do. They better do the right things. We need to go for the league. Right? I'm not doing no stagnation bullshit. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm not doing stagnation. Fuck stagnation.
So bar the, obviously, because I think it's pretty obvious. Everyone's been saying goalkeeper, you need center backs, you need. Bar that, well, what else would you say in terms of your squad next season?
We need a backup striker with a different profile, aka either you're a great ball striker like Duran or aerial ability, right? Because if you're in Nkunku, there's useless.
Okay.
Right? Play Nkunku in the 10 if you're going to do that. And we also need a goal-scoring left winger.
Okay.
He doesn't need to start. But I said this in September. This isn't new. I said this on Lewis's stream since September, me and Scott, is because we have two playmaker wingers. Neto's a playmaker because he's never scored more than 5 goals in this league in one season. And Sancho's a playmaker. We know that.
Yeah. I think he's saying that about Duran. Yeah.
No,
but
I'm just saying, but okay, sure. I'm Rodion. There you go. Happy. Anyways.
Samu. Yeah.
Yeah, he's balling out right now. Anyways. So that's the thing, right? They're playmakers, and Madueke is more of a shooter, right? No matter how you rate him, he's a shooter. So I need one for the left side for at least balance.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
So that's what it'd be.
Okay.
It would be a leadership center back. It would be a goalkeeper that's top class, right? Because there's not a lot of world class goalkeepers, and they're not going to be moving teams anytime soon. And then we need a backup striker. So we're looking at Delap, getting him in the summer. That's the heavy reports. Is that we're going to be? It's so you know how you Dauncey was talking about our recent scouting, at least the quote unquote good ones, is because we got this guy named Joe Shields who used to be Southampton, and previous to then we used to work for Man City. So that's why he has the Palmer connections. How we got Palmer, how we got Lavia, and how we got Tosin even right on a free. And so that's how we're probably gonna be going for Delap. It's again Man City connection.
Got you.
So that's the thing. And then for left wing, there hasn't been any reports on that. But yeah.
Fair enough. Prime, same thing for you. Your conversation about Chelsea and all the stuff that CP was talking about. What thoughts on the Ipswich game first? Yeah.
Yeah, that game stuff. I've been saying all season that we don't control games enough, and now you've seen that once our forwards stop scoring goals, we start losing games. Our defense isn't good. Like Cole, I'm kind of tired of this guy now. I gave him the benefit of the doubt once the season started, but I guess I've just always been right about him. He's just not really good enough. We're waiting until Fofana comes back, but again, how long will he last for? The Sassy's got to go. Badiashile, whatever's wrong with him, he's got to go. Chelsea fans keep hoping on a prayer for Reece James. He's just never going to make it. And we need a goalkeeper. Lavia, he can't stay fit. Enzo, he gets targeted in midfield because he can't play in a double pivot, really. And I say he'll be playing way too many games now. If you look at the stats, Caicedo has the most tackles and interceptions in the league this season, which looks great, but he shouldn't have to do that. We should just be able to control games. We should be able to win a game 1-0, win it 2-1, win it 2-0, especially against the lower sides in this league. And we're not doing that because we just invite the chaos all the time, and it's annoying to watch. Maybe entertaining from a rival's perspective, but for me, it's just so annoying to watch. And Maresca's been talking about this all season. His substitutions the last 3 games have been awful. In terms of the timing of them and the players you brought on, which is frustrating because earlier in the season, you were making subs quicker and you were making the right sub. You took off Sancho at halftime at Anfield. I've seen you make subs after the 60th, by the 60th minute or after the 55th minute. I've seen you do it. I've seen you make the right subs as well. But so why you're not doing it now, I don't know. Jackson, I think this guy needs a bit of a rest. But we can't rest him because you saw against Ipswich. The guy that comes in Cuckoo, is just not good. This guy's a flop. I told Chelsea fans when we bought him, don't get gas. This guy's, I don't believe he's actually that good of a footballer. Maybe a good goal scorer, but you have to facilitate so much for this guy because he cannot play 10, he cannot play 9, he cannot play on the flanks. The guy doesn't want to press. He's got to go. Felix, people rate him because he's silky on the ball, but he's another Kai Havertz. Just not that good, really. He's got to go as well. So this glorious forward line people want to talk about, best forward line in the league. without Palmer and Jackson, not that good. So yeah, the squad is being shown for what it is. However, because of our brilliant start to the season and because of the teams around us not being good, we'll make top 4. We'll be fine. That's not something I'll be worried about. We'll probably finish 3rd or maybe 4th, depending on what City do, which is fine. And we have to go into the summer window, and we need to do a lot to get up into being title challengers, because if we go in with this squad next season, we're not going for this league. We can't.
Prime question. Do you think that you need to start making those signings from this window? Obviously not making loads, but maybe 1 or 2 of those signings that you would have made in the summer transfer window, like you have in the past, signing Nkunku early, signing players. Do you think you need to make those signings now to put yourselves in that position for next year?
Yes. Whether they come in for January or in the summer.
Yeah.
But yes, I would. I hope so. Like, we need at least one experienced center back, one leader, one like a Saliba, like a Van Dijk, someone who can raise the level of everyone else. And even though it's difficult to find, Spurs managed to find Van der Ven, and we just spoke about how Spurs don't have great recruitment, but they have Van der Ven, so we can find another one. Someone's out there. If we can get someone like
I'll give you an example on a free. Jonathan Tah's on a free. I would take Jonathan Tah.
I'll bring him in, but the thing with Jonathan Tah is he'd only play in the middle of our back 3, which is where Colwell plays. And the board, Maresca, they have this weird thing about Colwell being a future captain and building the defense around him. So we can't bring in Jonathan Tah.
I think but I hear you. The overall point is it's more so to get someone who's like experienced, right? And also someone who can make the rest of your center backs look good around him too. Because, for example, I know this is a crazy example too, because he's obviously achieved a lot in his career prior to coming to us. But Varane was that for us last season. Any type of center back pair that we did put next to Varane, and I'm saying even Johnny Evans, like they both looked great together, because that's the leadership. He's vocal. Yep. He's always demanding more from the people around him. He's also, just the experience and all that type of stuff that kicks in. So that I feel like Chelsea and it's not necessarily saying that it needs to be a big signing, but it needs to be someone who can also try to make the other center backs around him look better. Because I feel like that it will help you in terms of like getting someone that experience in like Thiago Silva in your squad a couple of years ago. This was a 38, 39-year-old Thiago Silva who's way off it in terms of physicality, but it's his presence. It's also his experience.
And the thing
you
is,
won a Champions League with him. So it's like,
I don't even necessarily think the recruitment we've done has been bad per se. I kind of disagree with George. I kind of agree. But the thing is, we have massively jumped from where we should be. This should have been a season where we just go for top 4, we get it, and then like over the next year or 2, we can build up to being title challengers. But because of how we've started the season and because of Arsenal and City falling off, we've now put ourselves into a potential conversation. That means we now have to reassess the squad again and say, okay, we can't wait for you to develop. We can't wait for Fofana to recover from his injury. We can't wait for Colwell to potentially be a good centre back. We have to now push for next season. So, like,
Fofana too. Like, just speaking particularly of Fofana, he's been a pretty big investment, right? How much did you guys sign him for? A couple of years ago?
70 with add-ons to 80.
Yeah.
He was signed in the first summer window.
The first summer, with Koulibaly and everyone.
He's like the most expensive centre back of all time.
He's the most expensive. Yeah.
The most mad.
Which is annoying. Which is what, again, I keep talking about money. Like, you can find good players out there. Saliba didn't cost much for Arsenal. Van de Ven didn't cost much. These players are out there. Like, find them. We have brilliant scout network.
The problem is you just got to find them before every other team does, because obviously that's where the problem is. Which is our plan. Every other team does. You're battling for that.
Which is our plan. We said they said that they want to find the next Enzo Fernandez, the next Caicedo, so we don't have to spend 100 mil. That's fine. Go find them. Because the summer we bought Sanchez, Spurs bought Vicario. So he's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
You have
I think the problem that I just see with Chelsea doing that is there's no pathway through to the squad for those young players. So you can buy the next Enzo. Whether that guy's eventually going to get a chance at Chelsea, that's the problem.
George, this word.
Signing
No, I mean someone that's ready
I
to come in
disagree.
now. I mean someone that's ready to come in now.
Yeah, but I just think whilst you're signing players for the future, you're signing players for the now at the same time. So you're blocking pathways. And that's where the issue, like you can't do both consistently at the same time because you do it consistently. So those players, like you sign a right winger,
I get what you're trying to say.
A future right winger. And then it's like, okay, how long are you expecting this right winger to be at the club? Or are you expecting that this new player is going to come in and replace him? Or do you just want so much players in your squad that it's just going to be like the best man walks out type of thing?
So no, I'll give you a clear pathway for one of them, like the one that Chelsea fans have been hyping up the most, which is once again Andrew Santos. There's rumors that Carney Chukwuemeka, Cassidy, and KDH are all going to leave next summer. Two of them are going to leave this summer.
Because you signed that player, Andre Santos, 2 seasons ago, but now you signed KDH this season and you're selling him next season.
Yes, because he's not good enough for the team. No, that's not bad claw planning because Maresca wanted someone from Leicester. It was Hermansen that we thought was overpriced at the time, or KDH. We bought for 30 million, and he wanted someone from that squad to integrate into this team so he could kind of like Sarri did with Jorginho, right? That's what happened, right? Is he good enough for where we want to be, which is challenging for the league? Right now, it doesn't look like it. So that's why reports are that he might leave next season. So then we can bring in Andre Santos, because for Strasbourg, we bought a new manager who plays a back three system, which is similar to Maresca.
Just quickly, CP, do you think that you're going to make a profit on KDH though? Because that's essentially what I'm talking about.
I think we could sell him for the same amount.
If he's not
for 30 million.
Wait, how much did we buy KDH for?
Yeah, how much did you sign him for?
30 million. 30 million.
30. We're making a profit.
Yeah, I said we can sell him for that much.
Bro, you're talking about Chelsea.
KDH.
We're talking about Chelsea.
I mean,
we got
anybody who pays that
he's not played football for 12 months. His value is not going to go up after not playing football.
I don't think it's going to go up, but we'll get him for the same amount.
George. He's English and he's going to end the season with a European trophy. West Ham will buy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Straight up.
Sell it for about 55 mil minimum.
And this is what Chelsea do, by the way. These players that flop will find a way to make the money.
No, I hear it. You're not wrong. But I'm going to head out, guys. So thank you.
Yeah, big up to you, bro. Appreciate you joining. Make sure you guys do subscribe to Durag Diaries. Link is in the description. Appreciate you being on.
Subscribe to George also on TikTok as well, Durag Diaries.
Yes.
Follow him.
Yes, I'll add that link. I didn't actually know you had a TikTok, but I will add that link.
No, he does.
Quick reactions. That's the lad knows. Prime knows, man.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, big up, bro. Appreciate you. But yeah, cool. Where were we at in terms of Chelsea? We were still talking about Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Let me have a quick take on Chelsea.
Yeah.
But okay, Prime. I respect Prime as a Chelsea fan. Maybe not the guy that's sitting on top of him, or just because he's an arsehole, innit? But when Prime gives takes, Prime actually talks from
Thank you.
perspective. I'll let that prick upstairs, from him,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's fine. No worries, you know me. It's all about love.
Yeah. Real quick though, Doncy, real quick. Big up to African Cat for the first super chat of the channel itself. I'm going to remember you for the rest of my life, African Cat, just for this. But big up to you. He sent a super chat saying, big up Sheik in the panel. Don't send in our way on Sunday, which are haram. Hey, don't even, man. Hey. I was doing absolutely fine until you brought that up. And I'm trying to find a way to swerve this Man United section because I'm sick and tired of talking about these guys, man. Like, honestly, I'm sick and tired. But yeah, sorry, Dante. Go ahead. Continue, bro.
Yeah, no, I just want to say big up Prime in it because when he talks about Chelsea, he doesn't talk about Chelsea from a simp view, innit? Yeah, he talks about Chelsea and he tries to be logical about it. And not talk from his arse like some people, but we move in it,
Hey, hold that. People think I don't know ball, Hold that.
No, you don't know.
Prime knows ball.
And the thing is, like Prime knows, like if he's chatting shit, I'm gonna be chatting shit. And I've never said that to Prime because Prime is a very honest man, and he says it as it is. But let me get to Chelsea with the Ipswich game. A lot of people that lives upstairs laughed at Arsenal for winning 1-0 to Chelsea on a low. I mean, winning 1-0 against Leicester. I mean, Ipswich on a low block, But it seems like Chelsea's having the same problems with low blocks. That's what I'm saying, They find it very hard. And if Parma FC is not firing on all cylinders, you lot ain't really doing too much, are you, CP? But I'll take it there. Yeah. With Chelsea, I think that they should actually be happy.
He's not even slandering Chelsea. He's just slandering CP. So
I know,
Yeah,
I love
slandering
it.
you.
I love it.
That's
me and CP's got this little beef going on in it.
No, I know. It's all good.
I love it, man.
Hey, I've got beef with CP as well, man.
CP got beef with everyone, bro. Like he got beef with everyone, man.
He's just a troll that just don't shut up. He's just an Arsenal.
Yeah, no, he is, man.
He reminds me of a lot of my Arsenal fans, like Arsenal friends, and they're just fucking trolls in it. He's just one of them. It is what it is, yeah. He's got cups of an Arsenal, but he's got a mouth of a Tottenham man. You hear what I'm saying? Just chats so much. But yeah, I think that Chelsea fans would be really happy.
Be a good Arsenal fan, actually. You're right. Crazy.
Yeah, he would.
Don't do
that's
that. Don't
crazy,
do that.
actually. That's crazy.
He would.
That's crazy. CP would be. That's like, yeah, man. To have someone say that about you, CP, that's not good, bro.
CP would be one of those guys.
You'd be a great rival fan. You would be a great rival fan.
CP would be one of those guys saying Havertz is better than Haaland. He would be. I know it, bro. I know it.
That's crazy work.
You're the worst. You're the worst, Prime. You're the worst.
That's crazy work.
How dare you? How dare you?
Thank you, bro. I'm using that, man. Thank you, bro.
Bro, it's all good, man. You know me, brother. I've got a bit too honest sometimes. But you know, with Chelsea, I think they should be happy where they are and leave the manager alone, because last season, it was a race to 40 points. And when you have Poch in charge, cool, you bought how many players, but it didn't really mean nothing just because you had a late run. And if it wasn't for that late run, you would have probably finished 12th, 13th, right?
Right. It's true. Right? This just happened, Prime.
What?
What's that?
Oh, sorry, yeah. I dropped it in the private chat so we can speak on it when we speak about it.
Oh, my bad. Okay, we'll speak on it. Yeah. Sorry, Dante.
And where Chelsea are, they should leave the manager alone, because he's still finding his feet. He's still finding his way. It's his first season with like 100 players underneath his belt. Is he gonna find his first team? No, he's not. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a party account. My bad.
Oh.
That's so.
Oh, Prime, man, you got done by a parody account.
Prime.
We've all been there. Man.
You're too honest, Prime. That's what it is. You're too honest.
No, because I saw Fabrizio Romano, and then I tried to click on it. My bad. Sorry. Apologies.
No, you're fine.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah. Chelsea fans should actually be happy where they are. Yeah. And kind of stop thinking about the past too much when you was on top of the world. You're in a rebuild, and when you say rebuild, it's not just rebuilding the team; it's rebuilding how you play. It's rebuilding the manager. It's rebuilding trust back into everything that was Chelsea. Yeah, the Abramovich era has finished. It finished a long time ago. Yeah. And to be third at this time of the year, I think like a lot of Chelsea fans should just be happy with that, because in my opinion, just my opinion, Chelsea haven't been that great. Yeah, they really haven't. It's like, if it wasn't for individual brilliance, yeah, they'll be about fifth. Yeah, and to be honest, that's what football is about now. Well, not really, because it's about all of these players that can follow, that stay left, stay right, whatever it is. Yeah, if it wasn't for players like Palmer, Caicedo, all right, even down to Jackson, as much as people's pissed on him, he's done the club a real service by helping you in the position that you are. If you ask anyone at the beginning of the season, apart from Fuge, if you was winning the league, everyone would have said we'll come about third or fourth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because they understand what it is to be in a rebuild with a new manager. Because just remember, you're not just in a rebuild, you're in a rebuild with a new manager. Yeah. Mm-hmm. With so many players that he needs to kind of find his feet. Like, so basically what I'm saying is that if you don't finish third or fourth, which I think you will, and you probably win 2 cups, for me, that's a brilliant season, because the Conference League, like, you're not going to run away with it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can play your past players and still win it. You know what I'm saying? And you're probably, you're in contention of winning the FA Cup. If you win both of those, for me, that's the perfect season. I think you should just leave your manager alone, because the fans are starting to sound like Man United fans. He's had a few months. You know what I'm saying? I can understand if you ask me about my team and I'm cussing Arteta out because he's had fucking 5 years of this fucking process through that he's having, yeah? And the only thing that he's fucking won was 1 fucking FA Cup with another man's fucking team.
Yeah, with
you see how many
every
fucks
squad,
I don't give. Is what I'm saying. You lot
Yeah.
had a few months, with this manager. So just be easy with him, You know what it is? You're gonna lose these kind of matches. But who was expecting you to be here in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Mhm.
And if Man City wasn't doing at Spurs, they look good at the beginning of the season and they drop off. Guess what? Nobody's talking about fucking Chelsea at this point. Yeah, because then if we're talking about what everyone should be on the table right now, you lot will still be fourth. Yeah.
And
so
brother,
personally,
the fact that you concede, and this is why, like, as much as the past 3 results have like been annoying, I've not been angry because it's something I've been expecting. And what angers me is the fan base, because only a few weeks ago,
name and shame.
I was praising everyone for like being united.
Name and shame, because I seen that, and I was the one who called. I seen it first during a watch along, and I was like, "That's crazy."
I was praising everyone because we were doing this whole we're not in a title race, chill guys. And you know what? As much as I agree, it was annoying for you guys to listen to, but I just love the fact that we were all connected as one for the first time in a very, very long time. Even when we won the Champions League, we were still doing stand debates. The fact we were all connected and we all agreed. But now you guys are crying because we lost to Ipswich and Fulham. Fine. Chelsea losing to Ipswich is unacceptable in terms of our club, whatever. But you guys are crying as if we've lost the league title. But only a week ago, we were chill guys, not taking this title race seriously. So what is it? Did you guys actually believe? Were you guys deluded enough to listen to guys like Steve and Tony to believe that Chelsea are in the title race? Or is it because you guys didn't like the manager in the first place? The likes of Daniel, Maresca out.
Thank you.
What's wrong with you guys? Honestly, why?
I was just going to get to that too.
The defense is not good enough. The defense is not good enough, but you're going to protect Sanchez. Is this what my club is right now?
That's what I was basically saying, is that when you talked about the whole unity thing, I think that's a very, very important point, because I still definitely feel like there isn't unity right now in the Chelsea fan base, and I'm talking about particular fans, because it's more so not rather looking at how Maresca has changed this team or how he's setting up this team, but it's more so looking at, Maresca shouldn't be playing these people and should be playing those people instead, and Sanchez is not this and Sanchez is not that, and it's like, what battles are you fighting? Like, what battles are you really trying to fight for, right? You guys obviously have always been on the Maresca thing, where Maresca's come into the team. We're expecting more from him. He's at the helm. He's the one who has made ruthless decisions at the start of the season by benching players. So it's more so on that. But it's just like, I don't understand this defending of certain players when, like, if the team has lost, the conversation is, well, it was more of Maresca's fault rather than Sanchez's fault. Oh, it was more of this guy's fault rather than Maresca's fault. Oh, it was Maresca's fault rather than that person's fault. It's like vice versa, right? Where I feel like these are the things that we're debating, like you guys are debating. Like, I think it more so just be at the fact that, okay, look at this club at an overall thing. Just look at what Maresca has achieved so far, and also just think about your expectations going into this season, and think about whether Maresca is fulfilling those expectations currently, because nobody had you guys predicting to win the league title. So now that if you go through a bad run, why is everyone Maresca out? Because you had Maresca finishing in the top 4 this season. Bro, and that's where you currently are. So it's like,
right? And barring
I said
like
you'd finish
our
top
little,
4. Yeah,
barring our little clique, barring our little clique of Chelsea fans on Casually FC, Lewis's channel, Jimmy's, and stuff like that, right? The wider fan base were laughing at the fact that we could finish top 4 because this championship manager has ruined what Pochettino was building. We're not going to make top 4. But
I said you'd finish top 4 last season. I said the squad was good enough to finish top 4 last season.
So did I, but apparently I was foolish because it's young and experienced players. But now, only a week ago, we were in a title race. Yes, now we're 4th because of results, but people are crying. Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but it's really that. It's just like certain people who also let's say there are certain people who were predicting who weren't doing this whole title race gimmick, and we were more on like the chill guy and all that type of stuff. Even they were Maresca out after losing to Fulham, which I'm like, what is it that you guys want? Like, you guys want at this point if they had completely just accepted that, okay, we're gonna try to win this league and stuff like that, it's all more so about your expectations going into the season. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be mad at Ruben Amorim, even though it's a completely different situation. But I'm not gonna sit here and be mad at Ruben Amorim if he goes on a 5-game run that all of a sudden he loses that 6th game and I'm Amorim out because I thought we were gonna go on a great run or whatever. You still have to look at the situation that you're in, what your expectations were going into this season, and judge based off of that. Because I don't think there's anything that you should be saying Maresca out. There should be no reason you should be saying Maresca out right now.
And that's not saying, by the way, that Maresca can't be criticized, because if you set that precedent, then you end up, sorry to say this, but you end up with what you have at Arsenal, where no one's allowed to speak bad on Arteta. I don't want that sort of precedent. So yes, Maresca can speak on it. Yeah, Maresca's allowed to get criticized when he gets things wrong. That's fine. Yeah. But
just like any other manager is allowed to get criticized. Yeah.
But when we lost the worst Man United side I've ever seen, when Chilwell played left wing and I was saying Poch is not good enough, I was told I have an agenda because he managed Spurs. So where's your agenda then? Because he managed Leicester in the Championship that he won, by the way. He's actually won a trophy. He's won a league title. Arteta hasn't. Pochettino hasn't. So please, guys, calma. People were throwing their toys out the pram as we lost 2-0 to Man City at the start of the season when we didn't have a full squad.
Focus on Duran replacement.
Like, can we just...
Duran replacement. That's all funny. That's all funny. Yeah, he said focus on a Duran replacement.
Sorry, can I speak on hilarious.
This? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like I said, I'm criticizing everyone, right? I said Maresca has been cowardly with regards to substitutions. With his substitutions. Not I want him out with his substitutions. I said Palmer's been playing hero ball for the past 4 games. I said that on Marshall's stream too. I'm criticizing everyone when they're not performing well. But I'm not saying Maresca out or anything. I'm trying to figure out ways to improve this team. I'm trying to figure out substitutions to improve this team. I don't know how, when we lost now, we're winless in 3. But before then, we hadn't lost since Liverpool. We hadn't lost for 2 months, and now everyone's freaking the fuck out. It's insane to me. I said we were a top 4 team, and we could go as high as 3rd because Man City is shitting the bed. Mm-hmm. And that's what is still possible. I don't understand how everyone's freaking out right now.
Yeah, I don't get it either, bro.
I don't.
Almost like you guys are in 15th. It's almost like you guys are in 14th or 15th.
People are annoyed because Arsenal are above us. Let's just be honest.
That's fine. But we predicted this at the beginning of the league that they would be.
It's not fine for them. You know why? Because other than me, basically everyone wrote off Arsenal for being in this title race. You know, Donzie, you've seen it. I've been consistent saying don't write off Arsenal. They're still in it. Yeah. Lo and behold, they're above Chelsea, and people want to throw their toys at the pram. Guys, it's not that.
See, my issue is that it's so that's so contradictory to the fact that these same people who are mad that Arsenal are above them currently in the table had Arsenal predicting they had Arsenal finishing over Chelsea in their Premier League predictions anyways. So it's like, why are you all of a sudden mad? This is what I don't get. I genuinely don't get this. And I know this is just it's a reactionary thing. It's definitely like emotions, reactionary thing. Just in the moment you say things. I've been there before. I've said a lot of stuff like that. A lot of content creators have said stuff
reactionary.
Like
it's not reactionary. These guys, this is stuff people have wanted to say for 2 months. Because we were unbeaten, they couldn't.
Yeah. I was also going to say that too, is that I feel like certain people have been waiting for Maresca, which is crazy as Chelsea fans. They've been waiting for Maresca to do bad so that they can bring up these things and be like, oh, highlight that these are actually the issues and not so much like Sanchez in specific. So, yeah, I mean, which is crazy to me, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But cool. Any more couple of things on Chelsea? Before we move on to my club.
Daniel, I know you're watching, by the way. I dare you to say I'm lying about anything I'm saying. Dare you to say
it.
Yeah. Big up to Daniel, though. Big up to Daniel. But hey, man, you had to be called out.
Can we talk about the real team? You know what I'm saying? The amazing, the firing, the Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? All you know what I'm saying? Let's go, man. Don't see Tony, man.
We will talk about Arsenal real quick. Before Dancy, you continue on this. This is Brentford. Fuck you. fuck you, Brentford. You guys are trash. You had one job. Fuck you, Brentford. I said that like 3 times on the stream yesterday on Flawlessly Channel. Man. Fuck Brentford. Seriously. These man, if it was us who was playing them, it'd be 4-0 at the first half. But what happens when they try to play fucking Arsenal at home, Crazy. Just gift away goals. Brentford didn't do anything to me. It's just fuck Brentford. I was so mad after watching that game. So mad because they took the 1-0 lead and then they just absolutely capitulated. Just gave the game to Arsenal. So yeah, that's just what it is. Maybe because maybe.
Not everyone is equipped to beating Brentford. Okay, I know it's cold in 14th. Yeah, if you want, I can FedEx you
not everyone's equipped to beating Everton at home too, but it is what it is.
It's true because not everyone can beat Everton at home. Yeah, but still, we're in the sun. We're near the equator. Yeah, you're there in Antarctica. You know what I'm saying? Man's getting darker by the day.
No. See, you're trying to be at the equator, but your fan base is happy with just hanging around the equator. That's the thing.
My fan base are arseholes. It's just as simple as that. It's big up also for the 3 points. Yeah, old tight Jesus, so always had faith in you. I knew you could do it. Like Martinelli, you are such a boss. Is what I'm saying. Even though you haven't run past a person in so many games, your output, running past people, your output for the season is 38.5%. It's fucking amazing. And the beast Moreno, yeah, do you know what? The best buy, yeah, since friggin' Elvis, best of both, yeah. You're all fucking shit. Do you know what? Yeah, you lot scored, yeah. Cool with it, like big up for you with it. You lot scored, yeah. Now that's what 3 goals for Jesus, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's 3 goals.
Finding his form.
Yeah, that's 3 goals in 22 games, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent, innit? Yeah, you bastard, yeah. Martinelli, right? Martinelli, the person that they was better than Saka, yeah, the one that had so much potential, yeah. You still fucking running around like an idiot with your head down, yeah. Show me a good cross. Furthermore, yeah, show me that you can score a goal, yeah, by beating at least one person outside the box. I don't care if it doesn't get to top bins, but show me that you can score a goal. Like, you'd think that, coach, shut up, yeah? You would think that, Arsenal lost yesterday, right? And the reason why I am not happy about the situation is because these players, they go through this, yeah? They go through these purple patches. They go through hyping up my Arsenal fans with the good vibes, right? And then guess what happens? At the end of the season, we still win nothing, right? I'm more disappointed in Arsenal just because of the last 2 years, right? And when we needed a striker, we bought Sterling, yeah? Old tight Chelsea, you arseholes, yeah? Getting another one off your thing and then getting Sancho, the player that I wanted, right? We know we needed a striker, yeah? It's instead of going to buy a player like Duran or Watkins, which I wanted from last season, season. H, you know this, yeah?
Right? Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, we didn't get no one. All right. I said let's get a right winger for Saka because I really want Saka to do well, but I knew he was playing so many games, too many games for Arsenal and England, yeah. And I knew something like this could happen. And when it does happen, yeah, cool. Like we won against Brentford, what do you do? What happens when we go against Tottenham? Yeah, true. The player that actually scores against them is what I'm saying. That's definitely Saka. When we go against Man United, when we go against Chelsea again, what happens? Because we haven't got any more big players, especially on our wings. We all know the left side is so weak. Do you know who we brought in? We brought in the California Dream. Yeah, California Dream. Yeah, the cauliflower himself. Right? We have a left back right there, and I get it. Yeah, he's young, but then buy a fucking left back. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But he scored top bins against Man City.
Yeah.
But he did that.
He scored top bins, isn't it? Yeah, big up him, innit? You know what I'm saying? and I used to have a girlfriend that was very beautiful, but she pissed me off, so I threw her away, innit? Yeah, it is where it is.
Period.
Yeah? Like, do you know what it is? We still got players on our books like Zinchenko. We got players like Zinchenko. Get rid of this fucking wanker. I hate him. I hate him with all my.
Honestly, I hate Zinchenko so much too. His face is like so slappable.
You lot can have him because you lot need vibes.
No, we don't. No, we're good off Zinchenko, man. Hey, we're good off Zinchenko, man. We're good off that, bro.
Aside from the whole political stuff, why do people not like Zinchenko? What about this?
I don't like him because if you ever see him play,
he's a shit footballer. That's what I really
No, I know he's a bad player, but like aside from that, obviously as well. Like, is it something he does on the pitch?
No.
He's also a crybaby. Like he complains and moans all the time too.
I don't like him simply because he lets my team down week in, week out. Yeah. Forget what you do on the outside. That's none of my business. You could be a party animal. You could be a monogamist. You could be whatever under the sun, as long as you don't do that crime. Yeah, you could do whatever you want underneath the sun. You can do what Redford does, fly out, go to blah 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 blah. But as long as you do your job on the field, that's it. But the thing is, yeah, he's trying to do this hugging thing. He's trying to do this. Do you know what? Yeah, let's all be friends. Let's go out and play patty cake, and hopscotch and all of that. I'm not into that. Do your fucking job. Yeah, time and time again, the reason why we lost a lot of matches was because of him. Yeah, and if you don't realize it, Calafiori is made in the same mold as him. Yeah, this is why they attack that side so much. And if you see the percentages between our left and our right, when we can see goals, it's always coming down our left side. People fear Timber, but they laugh at the right, our left hand side. Yeah. Right? If you look at yesterday, right, Declan Rice gave the ball away. He should have never gave that ball away. It was a simple pass. It is what it is, yeah. But there's so much more of football to play for them to score that goal. Yeah. If Calafiori, yeah, just remember, yeah, forget that he's a centre back playing left back. If he's a centre back, first and foremost, he should know how to defend. Yeah. He should see the warning sign, because this is what he does. Yeah. He's not a novice player. This is like last season. He was in the team of the year, right? So this is what he's supposed to do. Italian football is all about formation. So he should know better than that. But this is the second time he's let a person go in on their strong foot and hit the ball first time. Could Rhea save that? I think he should have saved that because he was on his inside post. But guess what? If you stick your foot out in the penalty box and a person dives over it and they get a penalty, it's your fault. You should know what to do and what not to do. Yeah, these are professional athletes now. You know what I'm saying? This is my issue. The fact that we're buying the wrong players for the wrong positions, or we're never buying players for the positions that we need. Yeah. And then we have to stick someone like Ethan out. And do you know what? Yeah, I want him to do well. But in another sense, yeah, I don't want him to do well, because if he does well for Arsenal, do you know what happens? He's going to get overplayed.
He's going to get overworked.
And the same thing that's going to happen to Saka happened to him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or we're going to get rid of him. Yeah. I want him, like I say again, I want him to do well. But first, but for me, if Arteta, cut all the bullshit. If Arteta don't win one of the two big this season, yeah, which I know he's not going to, I believe he should be gone, because he's been here for long enough. Forget that. I'm not like CP. I don't care how much we spend, because it's not my money first and foremost. Yeah, and with inflation, it's like I said, you can get a 60 million player now that costs 120 because of inflation, because of the English tax. Yeah, so I don't care about that. What I care about is the fact that Mikel Arteta has been here for 5 years. Yeah, 5 years, right? And he's won the trophy with the next man's team. So if he doesn't win anything this season, when I say anything, I will take a Carabao Cup, I will take a FA Cup, but I don't think that should be enough to save his job. If you're the one that throughout the 5 years, yeah, then I would say, okay, we're still building, blah, 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 whatever, Man City on juggernaut, it's hard to take them down. Man City aren't Man City right now, yeah?
Facts.
Liverpool, we all know Liverpool are 2 players away from an injury, but do you know what? Say it doesn't happen, then it's still on Arsenal's fault, still on Arsenal's back for losing those stupid matches where we should have won, yeah? And I'm not going to turn around and blame all the players, because it's the manager that's constantly taking man off at 70 minutes. It's the manager that's constantly playing Havertz when he's not scoring, that's constantly playing Martinelli when he's not scoring. It's the manager that didn't play Ethan early on this season, or that kept on Saka to play game after game, that brought in Calafiori, that brought in Moreno, that didn't buy in a striker. This is down to the manager. So if I'm looking for someone's head at the end of the season, it's the manager. Yeah. And if we don't win anything at the end of the season, get rid of the manager.
Yeah. You know what the harsh truth is, though? Even though, I hear you completely and I agree with you, he has to deliver some sort of, big silverware this season. Unfortunately, though, if he still ends up winning a FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, your board will keep him. Your board will keep him if he lifts one of those trophies.
I think if we don't win anything, if we get top 4,
to be honest, yeah, keep him. You could say because that.
He signed a new contract. Just remember, before the Spurs game, he announced that he fucking signed a contract.
Yeah,
that blows my mind.
It also feels like since Edu has left the club too, it seems like things, I mean, they already were, but things are now more in control for Arteta than ever. And
that's bad, because we saw what when Wenger was in charge. Cool. The reason why I'm not really going to speak bad about Wenger, because he gave us some great moments in in my Arsenal time,
Yeah.
right? But then that's the difference. If Pep finishes, say Pep finishes 10th, yeah, I will laugh at Man City, but I'll never say anything about Pep. To tell you why, because Pep has won so much for his time. You know what I'm saying? I respect winners winning. This is why, if you like crowd, if you've never heard me talk here, I don't really talk bad about Chelsea. I might do the 1 or 2 liners, just like Man United. I like that when they're in a rut, but I respect winning history, especially Premier League winning history. And these men have a lot of heritage. Yeah, I'll tell you how it is. The only person that, even if they had heritage, I'll still piss on is Spurs. Yeah, because.
Yep.
Spurs, innit? Like, we hate Spurs.
You don't have to worry about it because they don't have heritage. But
no, they don't want to win anything. This is why I love it. But when
wait. Man United have heritage, and you still make fun of Man United?
No, I ban Man United
because of the situation that we're in right now.
Because the situation they're in, because they're 14th.
Oh, who wouldn't?
I know. I just want to cheek to say it.
Well, it's like these guys make fun of us regardless, but it's now like Ipswich and these men are also making fun of us. Like, so it is what it is, you know.
No, I respect it because we had battles in the late 80s and early 2000s. So like I said, I respect winners. Yeah, I respect winners. I don't really respect Liverpool because you know what, they got their COVID trophy and all of that.
Oh yeah, fuck Liverpool every single day.
Yeah, they're like, like when it comes to Liverpool in the league, yeah, they've done as much as Leicester, but at least Leicester done it with fans, with the pressure on. You know what I'm saying? But just one man's opinion. But when it comes to Arsenal, I just want us to do better because whether we win, like we could win our next 5 games, yeah, I will never get happy until I see us win a trophy. Right. Because the Arsenal way is, we're going to make them feel good. We're going to create banter. We're going to laugh at other teams failing, yeah? And we did that with Man United last season, and they still won another trophy, and Arsenal got the 2nd place parade. Oh, shit, I didn't see a parade. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, man.
I'm here for the trophies.
Facts. 100%. And I feel like, man, I talked to so many different Arsenal fans. Like, I've seen a gal post some stuff today on Twitter talking about, like last season we were at these many points and look at us this season and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, like these are just conversations. This is not you shifting the needle or like moving the needle or any of those type of things. It's really the fact that wherever you guys are currently at in terms of your situation, it's a failure. This is 5 years or 6 years in after all the money that you have spent and all these stats that some Arsenal fans were gloating about last season. Oh, we've scored these many goals. Oh, we got 90 points, this and that. Doesn't matter at the end of the day if you don't lift a trophy. And it's like I keep saying this about Arsenal this season too. All Arsenal fans said last season and going into this season was wait till City drops off. Wait till City drops off. We're going to wait until City drop off. We hope City drops off. They did. So where are you guys? You guys are supposed to be here and in that title race, and you're not. So it's like, man, mostly the Arsenal fans that I speak to are like you, Doncy, and Eli are really the ones who have sense, bro. And then the other ones are just overly confident for whatever reason. I keep asking Igal, I'm like, Igal, at what point will you turn? He's like, at the end of the season, I will assess it. And there are some unprecedented circumstances that we have to talk about. And I'm just like, bro, it's another word for saying injuries. Another like fancy word for saying injuries is what we had to deal with. But no, it's unprecedented circumstances.
We live in a world, even just forget this football stuff, right? We live in a world where people just don't want to admit that they've got something wrong.
But it's also just like I don't understand why Arteta has so much, like why so many people back Arteta so much. What has he done for you? That's where I'm currently at. I have a manager who won us an FA Cup in our worst ever season, and I wanted him out the minute we lifted it. Like I wanted him out the minute we lifted it.
You're Man United and you had like crazy success. It's different for these Arsenal fans. Like, for example, Sheik, how old are you?
26. I'm 26 years old.
So my age. Don C, I'm assuming you're older, right? Are you 30? At least? Okay.
Older. Okay. Yeah, we'll just say older.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've actually seen even before your Invincibles. And Sheik, not Sheik, CP, I don't know if he's here or not. He's probably roughly
28, yeah.
28. Igal, I know Igal's older, but he was an Arsenal fan, I'm pretty sure, like after their league title success. He's not seen Arsenal actually be successful, not seen Arsenal win a league title. A lot of these new age Arsenal fans, like we see on social media making this content, a lot of them haven't seen the Henry. They haven't seen Vieira, Bergkamp. They haven't seen that era. This is for them the most successful Arsenal side they've ever seen. That's why they're so heavy on. No, we actually are good, because all the metrics points towards you guys actually being good. You guys have had the most points in 2024. You're the only team in the top 5 league to have the most points in 2024 and not lift your league. You have you're scoring the goals. You're conceding the least amount of goals. You have every metric shows that you're league title winners, except the actual trophy. You have more points than the Invincibles, and yet you haven't actually won anything. That's why they still believe. They don't know what actual success looks like.
That's the thing. I just don't get it. Like, because people later on, when you look back at last season and the season before that, no one's gonna remember how good Arsenal were that season. They're just gonna remember that season as Manchester City winning the league title. That's really it.
But it's the same reason. That's why I compare Arsenal to Spurs, because these new age Arsenal fans, like, they are basically Spurs fans because they've not seen actual success. The same way Spurs fans, like certain ones we know, still talk about Poch. When you sack Arteta eventually and you bring in the next guy and he doesn't do well, then you bring in the next guy and he doesn't do well, and you're 5 years down the line, people will still keep talking about, we shouldn't have sacked Arteta. We should have given him more money to rebuild this squad.
Yeah,
people will still talk because this is your most successful era. Arteta is your Arsene Wenger. He is your Fergie for these Arsenal fans. And two, they don't want to. No one wants to admit they're wrong, because people talk a lot about Lee Gunner and about he'll be in the mud if Arsenal win a major trophy. These Arsenal fans, like Igal, and actually I won't even say Igal's name, but like other people, they don't want to admit potentially that they've been wrong, because that's why they keep digging in deeper. Igal only at the start of the season was saying that if Liverpool win this league, then Arteta has to go. It's a failure. Now he's saying we'll have to assess. You know why he's saying that? Because it looks like Liverpool will win the league, and I don't want to admit that I was wrong on Arteta. But that's why I'll need to find some sort of excuse to why we don't win the league. So the excuse would be, well, Saka got injured. Well, Liverpool had Alisson out for the first half of the season, so I think that balances Saka's injury out. But because people don't want to admit that they are probably wrong in Arteta and he has to go, and no one wants to admit Lee Gunner was right, because Lee Gunner, he is going to be annoying with it. No one wants to admit he was right. The same way United fans don't want to admit Flawless was right about this. They don't want to admit Sheik was right about this. People still want to dig their heels in until it gets bad. And that's what fans, like I said this about Chelsea fans.
That's what they do.
You guys won't see the truth until you actually experience the truth. That's what we had to go to 2 years ago with Graham Potter. You have to get through. You have to experience the bad to realize how bad things are. And unfortunately, with Arsenal, you guys may have to just regress and end up being like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th until people realize, oh, Arteta actually isn't good enough, and then he'll get sacked. And then you just go through the same bullshit process over again. Sorry, Don.
Yeah.
That's what you're.
Just want to say big up.
No, you were spitting.
No, sorry. I'm heading out. So big up to everyone. Big up to my number one off, Don Seaman. Appreciate you. Big up Prime and Chief, man. Much love, guys. Happy New Year once again, guys.
Yeah, you too, bro. Happy New Year. Big up to CP every single time, people. But yeah, as I was saying, just about Arsenal itself, this is just what it is, man. Like, it's things ain't gonna change until Arteta leaves. That's really what it is. That's what I'll just say. Why is it like this?
And unfortunately, a lot of Arsenal fans, and this doesn't just go to Arsenal fans. It's a lot of these new age fans. They don't actually understand it's okay to be wrong. Yeah, it's okay to get things wrong. It's okay to be like, you know what? Yeah, I actually support that, because like there's people like Igel that's like, yeah, at 100 miles an hour when it comes to Arsenal, and then there's me on the other side, which is, it's not that I'm negative. I just see Arsenal for what they are. I should tell you why, because I'm a person that loves history, yeah? And history tells its own story. And if you look at Arsenal's history over the last, let's say, 20 plus years in the league, right? What have we won? A few FA Cups, right? We've just been about there. When it was our time to win the league in the last 2 seasons, it didn't happen. It reminded me of the season with Leicester.
Yeah, that season you challenged. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. So why am I going to get overly excited? It's like I'm setting myself down to failure. Yeah. And if we do win, do you know what? I'll come on my brothers. Yeah. I'll go on Flawless's show. I'll go on TJ's show. I say, do you know what? All you Arsenal fans, yeah, I was wrong, but thank you Arteta for proving me wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Facts.
I'd rather say that, yeah, than come on the stream and say, do you know what? Yeah, Arteta, I knew you shit anyway. That's what I'm saying. Because like I'm a man, yeah. I know how to say sorry. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to anyone. I'm not gonna say the rest of it. I know how to say sorry when I'm wrong. I know what to say that when I'm wrong. And it's like when I see Saka, yeah, I used to call him Mr. Limpy, yeah. But I did it for a banter. But I actually like him, and I think without him in our team, yeah, you can see what it is. I don't like players like Martinelli, and I'm very loud with it, yeah, for the things that I don't like for Arsenal. Just because I've seen better. Yeah. With the Chelsea team, I hated Chelsea when the Abramovich era came along, because if you want me to be totally honest, it weren't even Man United that killed our hopes and dreams with after the 49. It was Chelsea emergence, because we could have rebuilt it, and all we had to do was go against Man United. Then Chelsea come along. That's what I'm saying. When Chelsea came along, it's like Mortal Kombat. Finish him. You know what I'm saying? We're gone. And we never actually came back from that. Yeah, go on, Smile Prime, innit? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but then that's the reality of it. And I want a feeling back of, you know what? Yeah, champions, or even excuse me, or even win a Champions League, yeah, or Europa League. To tell you why, because I'm sick of people, yeah, going back to Flawless, champions of Europe.
You'll never see that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm tired of that. Yeah, I'm tired of that. I want to come on, like I said, I want to come on the stream and say, do you know what, Arsenal? I apologize to you. You, man, next season, I'm backing you because you showed me what you're made of. But until they do it, why the hell am I gonna be like, oh yeah, it's like me waiting for a pay rise is never gonna come.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. What's the point? I might as well just move on to the next one.
The funniest thing to me is that I know this will happen for a fact, because I know you guys are not going to win a league this season, or that's my opinion. I don't think you'll win a league or a Champions League this season. Yeah. But I know for a fact that if the next manager comes in and does similar to Arteta, these men will forget about Arteta. And if you guys go on and let's say you score the amount of goals that you were under Arteta with the next manager, you actually lift something under the next manager like a Carabao Cup or a FA Cup, these men will forget about Arteta. So these same people who right now are like ride or die for Arteta will literally forget about him a year later if you end up challenging with a new manager. So it's like, that's why I'm just like, I don't understand where this whole thing, this love for Arteta comes from, because he hasn't done anything for your club. Like I seriously don't understand it. Every single time I try to ask people, oh, when will it come time where you're going to look at Arteta for these 5 years of failure? Let's just be honest, it has been failure. When are you going to start? Oh, end of the season, we will assess it. There's been so many things and factors that we have to account to and stuff like that. Yeah, the only factor you have to account to is that you've won no trophy, like nothing in these past like 5 to 6 years. The FA Cup, cool. Forget about it. It wasn't his squad. It was Emery's leftovers. But yeah, like that's pretty much what it is. And I just don't understand where this whole vim comes from for Arteta.
This whole it was Emery's squad thing annoys me, because when a manager gets sacked and a new manager comes in, like, and he wins, that shouldn't be a bad thing. But because
the reason why we say it is because now that when he got his squad, he's not able to win anything. When he's constructed his own team,
that's my
he's
thing.
not able to win anything.
No, I know, but that's my point. Because like Arsenal fans don't like to do this thing of where rivals and Arteta, like detractors, like Doncy, will discredit the FA Cup win. But the only reason that FA Cup win gets discredited is because when Arsenal were in 8th, Arteta defenders were saying, well, he inherited a bad squad. He needs time to get rid of the deadwood and build his own squad. Well, if that squad was so bad, then I can't credit Arteta for that FA Cup win. You know what? You see how it contradicts itself?
No, I hear that, but I mean, if we really do break that FA Cup down, I think it was just Aubameyang. He was absolutely on smoke that tournament. Semi-final, final. I think they played Man City and Chelsea in the semi-final and final respectively. He bagged in both those games. Like, and yeah, he was in great form at that moment. So yeah, you could like this could be just me hating and talking about it was Emery's squad. My overall point though is that when Arteta has been given the keys to construct his squad, and also given one, way more time than Emery, two, way more money than Emery, has not been able to do anything, to be honest. And that's the issue for me. That's where the issue comes in, is that I say that it's Emery's squad because when he got his own, he hasn't done anything yet. So that's just why I say those type of things. But 2025 for you, Don C, Arsenal Football Club, what are you looking forward to? Arteta getting sacked in the summer? Is there any managers that you would bring in currently that you think would improve things at Arsenal?
I'm a person that it's like when the bridge comes, that's when I cross it.
Fair enough.
Because
I think
a manager, it's like any player. I could want a player on my club. Guess what? He gets injured. So now we've got to rethink things.
Rethink things. Yeah.
And when it comes to managers, I just don't think he's good enough. You know what I'm saying? That.
Yeah.
And I've never thought he was good enough. Just like I said before, when we got him, Everton got Ancelotti. Yeah. So football's literally like that, right?
Yeah.
I just want to see trophies at my club because Arsene Wenger came from Japan, right, and brought so much success to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Porto got Mourinho, got so much success for them. Like you lot got.
We ended up bringing him from Aberdeen. Yeah, from Sir Alex from Aberdeen, who did win and he beat Real Madrid with Aberdeen, but still, successful. Nobody knew it was going to turn out to be this way.
When it comes like that, I don't care where we get our manager from. Right. I just want to bring back the good old times. For me, a vibe is not hugging. A vibe is not Zinchenko. Like I always say, if you want a good vibe, go to a strip club. Yeah, you get that perfect vibe. Yeah, I want a manager to win things. Yeah, right. I want a winner. I want someone with the passion to change things up, to shake things down. You know what I'm saying? Not run up and down the field and be doing like this, like you're doing a finger dance and the plane goes here and the plane goes here and shouting at people and taking the piss out of people. I don't. This is not a personality thing. I don't want to get personality of the year. Yeah. It's one of those things where I want to get a trophy at the end of the year. Yeah. So if he gets sacked, that's my Premier League.
Fair enough. I completely understand where you're coming from because that was me last season with Ten Hag, or actually I could say that this season because he didn't get sacked last season. But best way to segue over to the last and final topic, which is my dusty fucking club. We lose time and time again. One thing that I've actually been it's a thought that I've like developed recently is that I'm a little concerned that we might not see Ruben Amorim at the end of this season, based off of how results are going right now. And the reason why I say that is because Ineos have no clue in terms of what they want to do, and because of them not knowing what they want to do, that's basically enabling them to make stupid decisions, like they have made stupid decisions in the past. Like I said, my biggest concern is that I hope he's there at the end of the summer, that he doesn't, one, walk himself because of whatever reason. Two, they don't sack him just because results are continuing to be terrible. I've said this. I'm okay. I don't think we're going to get relegated. So, and people who've been saying that we're going to get relegated, and I've been hearing about like Adidas is going to stop their 900 million their shirt business and stuff with us because if we get relegated, I think that's way over the top. I really, really don't think we get relegated, to be honest. But if it continues like this, I understand the situation. I understand what he has to do. I will still continue to say this. I still think, even though we have lost 4 of our last 5 games, I still think he's doing miracles with the squad. One thing that I do want to change, though, is that he needs to go back to Ahmad playing at a wing back, and he needs to go back to Mazraoui being a center back, because since he's changed those 2 things, we've not looked anywhere near like the team when he first stepped in. And when I say that, it's like we were still losing games and here and there, whatever, but we had control. We were creating chances. The type of goals that we were scoring too just screamed the system to me. And I feel like with this and these tweaks that he's made, and I get it, like I was someone who was saying this, like play Ahmad in the 10, see how that works out and all of that type of stuff. But clearly now you can see that it's not necessarily working out the best way that you would want. It's not also allowing the other players in that front three to be better too, surprisingly, which is weird. But I'm more so at a point where, Ruben, you have to start making changes like this, because you talked about this yourself. You said time here is earned. Time here is not just given to you. But at this situation currently that you're in, you have to earn your time, because if results continue like this, isn't a Brighton or a West Ham where you can experiment all season and you're allowed to finish mid-table or you're allowed to finish in the bottom half of the table. And even to a certain extent, those clubs wouldn't allow their managers to do that currently as well. So, why is it any different for us at Manchester United? And that's kind of the issue that he has, is he has to eventually be able to get results. And it's a concern, because I know the squad is going to let him down from time and time again. Yes, we'll get our odd win when we're not supposed to win here and there, but on a consistent run, these guys are just not going to perform. And we have big issues, man. And the way that we're starting off 2025, we have a trip to Anfield and we have a trip to Emirates, both away games back to back. We could be out of the FA Cup in a week. We're already out of the Carabao Cup. That leaves only the Europa League left to win if we do challenge for some sort of trophy this season. And league is pretty much finished too. I don't think we finish anywhere near that top four. We even stand a chance in that top four. So currently at this situation, you're looking at it and it's like, okay, Ruben, like you need to just start getting results, bro. And I'm someone who I'm backing him. Like I've been on his side throughout all of this. I still think, like I'm saying this, I hope he's there at the end of the summer, because I genuinely think that he can do something, and I see what he's trying to build, and I see the system that he's trying to play too. And at times in certain games, it has worked. And we've improved a lot from Ten Hag. Like people try to tell me, oh, how is it different from Ten Hag? It's very, very different from Ten Hag. We're not conceding 20 shots like every single game, and players on that pitch know what they have to do in terms of their positional value. Whereas under Ten Hag, men were just running around for no reason. And the whole thing with Ten Hag was that he was given money, he was given resources, he was backed. No one can ever say that he wasn't backed, and he just flipped the switch. He was backed. Well, the first season that he had was a good, successful season, in my opinion. We hadn't won a trophy for 5 years. He got us to a Carabao Cup final. We won that. We had a decent Europa League run, I would say, too. And we ended up finishing top four. What I wanted to see from him that second season was invest into the right players and get the players for your specific system. But he scrapped that, and he ended up just getting runners and people who would provide energy, likes of Højlund, likes of Mason Mount, and all those type of signings. And that's where things went wrong for him. Based off of that same judgment, I want to be fair to Ruben Amorim, and I want to have him get his players, get backed by our Ineos, and get backed in the way that Ten Hag did. And then we assess him in that second season to really figure out whether this system can work in the Premier League or not. Right now, it just doesn't seem fair to him, because this is the worst ever situation to be put in. Despite him accepting it, he looked at the situation, he's seen what it could be, and he still accepted it as a challenge, whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and be like Ruben Amorim out, because some people have been saying that. I'm not going to sit here and do this whole thing about, oh, we players still give in to the players a little bit more, because those are the problems that we've had at our club for the past 10 years since Sir Alex has left. So I'm just looking at this situation, and it's just kind of like, yeah, one, I hope he's there at the end of the season. And two, it's going to continue to be like this, people. Like, don't expect anything from this Liverpool game just because it's a derby and just because, like, oh, we'll turn up against Liverpool. No, just say it, reality how it is. If we play the same way that we played against Newcastle, it could be much, much worse, because Newcastle could have been much, much worse too. The scoreline definitely doesn't reflect the performance that they had and the performance that we had. If it wasn't for Kobbie Mainoo being subbed on in the 30th or 40th minute, it could have been much, much worse. It could have been 4 or 5-0 ending in that first half. So I'm patient. I hope our fan base can be patient too, because there's always some news regarding Manchester United every single week. Obviously, one talking point also was the whole Xerxes thing. And I will say this, and I know I'll get a lot of hate for it, is that what the fans did to Xerxes and like booing and stuff was wrong. But I very, very much understand where they're coming from. And I seriously believe that if it was anybody other than Xerxes, they would have got the same reception, because the team in that moment was playing terrible. Xerxes himself had a 33% pass completion rate before he got subbed off. As a 10, as a cam, all you do is pass. Like, that's really all you're supposed to do in that situation, but none of his passes were clicking, and I thought he was rightfully taken off. I thought that was good for Ruben Amorim to try to change things. It just sucks that it had to be Xerxes in that situation. but he caught smoke for it, and it is what it is. I did feel a little bad for him when I heard he went to the changing room, kind of lashed out, and then he came out like a couple minutes after. But this is just like one. I'm someone who's like, I don't put a lot of emotion into the sport because I'm more so just like, at the end of the day, this is a professional job that you're doing, and act professional. But I get it. Like, those type of things can happen. But my overall thing with that is that it could have been anybody else other than Xerxes. I feel like they would have caught smoke. And I understand where the fans are coming from, because that performance up until that minute, till he got subbed off, was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And also, one key thing to note, because I noticed it, the moment that Xerxes got booed, I decided to, I turned the volume off of the stream a little bit more to see more of the fan base reaction of the fans who were there at the game. At halftime, all the players got booed, including the manager. Everyone got booed at halftime. So it's like, this whole thing of scapegoating Xerxes, I hear it. Like, I know some people in the fan base are, but overall, I just think it's frustration towards the entire team itself. I don't think it's trying to single someone out specifically. I think it's more so just frustration towards the entire team. So I get it, where they're coming from. Me personally, I probably would have booed him too, along with a lot of other players I would have booed. Well, Bruno Fernandes, every time he gets the ball, I would have booed him. So it's like, it's just those type of things. But I get it. I get what, certain fans are saying, and it does look bad. It's not a good look at all to have 75,000 people just boo you, even like 6 months into your career at Manchester United. But at the same time, the only way that you can turn things around is by playing well. And as of late, you haven't been playing well. And there was a time where you were playing well too under Ruben Amorim. And I was someone who was saying we should start Xerxes. But it's just, you haven't been playing well, and we can say that about majority of the players in this team. So that's what I would say about that situation. But yeah, your guys' thoughts just on Newcastle, Manchester United in a general. And yeah, man, what a fucking shit club we are. It's crazy.
I'll make this one really quick, 'cause I've got to go.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
It was a poor performance. Yeah,
definitely.
But what more can you say about it? It's like, I'm gonna give you the same energy as I said to Chelsea.
Yeah,
I'm kind of disappointed now. I understand Xerxes, what he did with the changing room, and you know what? Yeah, that's the kind of player that you want to have in your team, because that's passion. That's a player that I'm not happy in being taken off. I'm not happy in not playing. I'm not happy with my own performance. Yeah, so you let out your frustration in a confined space. Yeah, instead of getting to do what stupid people do and get a red card. Yeah. So for me personally, that's a player that you should want in your team, because when it clicks for him, it clicks for him.
Yeah.
You see your manager. I hope that he lasts to the end of the season. Because I really like him, and I really actually do see what he's trying to implement. For me, his greatest attribute, and what he's got wrong as well, is actually the same thing for me personally. He's trying to change too many things too soon. Yeah. See, I understand that he wants to play the back three, but for him to play the back three, he has to have his players to play the back three, because a lot of these players have played together 3-4 seasons, right? Between 2 and 4 seasons, they play like that together, especially the back four. Yeah. The midfield, the same. Strikers, they're enough the same. Yeah. So even if you got 1 or 2 players from Ten Hag, let's say at the end of last season, they're slipping into a formation that's been there for the last 2 to 3 years, right?
Yeah. So
he's coming in and changed that. So he's changed to a style that he wants to play without having the players that he wants to play, right?
Yeah.
I was happy that he came with a back three. I said that to Flawless a long time when he first came, simply because he's trying to keep with his style. Yeah, but I think that's kind of hindered him as well, because if he would have played to their strengths, right? And to be honest, a great coach always plays to a team's strengths at that point, and then once they can get out the deadwood and get the players that they want to play, that's when you can start to implement his style. You know what I'm saying? But because just like a typical coach, a typical Spanish well-dressing coach, right? Like Arteta, he's very stubborn in his way, and because of that, I think that could be the downfall for him. And me saying this, I don't want him to go, because I was interested when you lot bought him, because me personally, I didn't follow Sporting like that. Yeah, but then like any other fan, when I heard this coming to Man United, I watched a few a few matches of Sporting after that, and on Google, and just see what his teams were made of, and it's very exciting. Right? But you got but Man United supporters have to remember he done it with his players.
Yeah,
right? He's nothing like Ten Hag.
Another thing is also that like it took him time to build that Sporting squad too. Yeah. It's not something that was just built overnight in a first season. I remember Prime brought this up, I think in a different stream where it was a Sporting fan talking about it, basically saying that like whatever we're going through right now, it happened under like Ruben at Sporting 2 in his first season, where it was kind of like this, but when he was backed and he did get his players, things turned around. We're talking about a Sporting club that didn't win a league title for what, like at least more than 15 years, and they're not traditionally part of like the big two in that league either. So, but all of a sudden he's won like 2 league titles in like 4 years, was on course to win his 3rd this season before he joined us. So like these are the type of things, it's like that's why I'm like I hope he does get back, because I see what, and I hope he does stay here, is because I can see what he's trying to do. And I also look at that Sporting team, and if we do get into it, basically a lot of the Sporting team and the thing that he's built there in that 4th season that he had with them is a lot of ball playing players, like ball playing midfielders, ball playing like strikers and 10s who can hold up and also link up with players around you. And I look at our team and we honestly don't have a lot at all. There's also things that he's finding out now. Diogo Dalot was someone that I actually thought could play a wingback role. But boy, was I fucking wrong, because he cannot do anything going forward. And in this system, he requires his wingbacks to go forward. There's been a lot of times where especially in this Newcastle game, where we would pick up the ball in the middle and the wingback is supposed to make that run, and Dalot and Mazraoui both don't make it. So what that does is that it's a lot of just backwards passing, and that causes problems for us in terms of creating, because that's an outlet that we just don't have in that game. Most of the time too, Diogo Dalot is just standing there on that left-hand side, and we play that long switch to him. And every time that long switch is on as well. But when we do play that long switch, it doesn't lead to even a corner. And most of the time goes out for a goal kick, or most of the time is just collected by the goalkeeper. So those are the type of things where I feel like if we even add a better left wing back, or if we add more players on our left-hand side, it could still be a lot different, because these are just options that we don't currently have at all. Our attack, like it or not, runs through Ahmad. Ahmad is the one who's fed the ball the most on the right-hand side. Like, hey, Ahmad and Inshallah, just cook something, get someone in a good position. And a lot of the goals that he scored when he was at wing-back was those type of goals. The goal against Ipswich, tap in for Rashford, pass came from his side. He just beat like 2 players and squared it. Goals against Everton, I think he had like 2 assists created by him. Other games as well. I think one of the Europa League games that we played, I think it was Victoria. He had a lot to do with that too. So it's more so like, one, the players are definitely not there, and I think he's found that out and he's still finding those things out as he's progressing week by week. But it's also like there are tweaks that you can make. There are adaptations that you can do, because even some of the goals that we have conceded, let's be honest, majority of them, or not majority of them, but most of them have been set pieces. Most of them have been foolish mistakes that we've just made, where someone's given the ball away, or we've had our captain get sent off in a game and then it's just game over from there. And we don't come out with the right mentality in the second half. There's been games like the Forest game where I think we conceded in the first 5 minutes of both halves. And that tells me a lot about mentality of these players. And it's not like Ruben hasn't been proactive when it comes to changes either. He has. Like, he tried to do that against Arsenal in the Arsenal game, where we kept you guys quiet for the first half, and then second half he made a couple of changes when we went 1-0 down, and then after that we just weren't able to really do anything. But he's proactive as a manager, and he's trying things, but he's always told us this. He said this after a 4-0 win against Everton, that a storm is coming. Which manager would tell you that after a 4-0 win? By the way, we never won 4-0 under Ten Hag. So it's probably been I think the last time we won 4-0 was actually under Ollie. So he's won a 4-0 win at home, convincingly, very, very good performance. And the first thing that he says in a press conference is that a storm is coming. So I know this guy knows the problems that we have. One, I don't think maybe it was this, I don't think he knew that the problems would be this severe, that we'd be sitting 14th or 15th in the league. Should have been winning games that we should have been winning. But yeah, like I said, I think one thing that I can definitely give him credit for is that we always say this from time and time too, is that every single press conference, he indirectly calls certain players shit, and he calls them out, and he's working on it too. Garnacho was given a chance when he first came in. We haven't seen Garnacho start a game for the past 5 games. Rashford was his striker. What was the first thing that we heard when Ruben Amorim was coming to Manchester United? He's identified Rashford to be his number 9. He played Rashford as the number 9 against Ipswich. Never really saw him after that in terms of starting positions, and now he's officially getting phased out from the team. So these are things that I like, and these are things that previous managers didn't assess. And it looks like he's talking about a full revamp of the squad, which also tells me that it's going to require years, and he needs to be given that time in terms of a whole revamp of a squad. You can't build that overnight and then just in one season, but you can start off by phasing out these specific players who have been here for a while and who have been nothing but bang average, and then replacing them with players who actually want to be here. And players that he can trust as well are not players who would throw him under the bus. For example, Bruno Fernandes, stupid red card, stupid 2 challenges for no reason. And this is, mind you, his 3rd red card this season. And this is the captain of the football club when he first arrived here. So you're arriving here and you're looking at all these squad players and you're looking at someone like Bruno Fernandes, and you just notice that he's got 3 red cards this season as a 10, as a cam. That's definitely not someone that you can trust. Those are not people that you look into your team and be like, yeah, these guys are leaders. And I think what he wants is he's trying to develop that culture at our club right now. And it's going to take some time. I'm not for this whole thing, though, that, it has to get worse before it gets better. No, I think that's a wrong mentality to look at it. I think you should always try to strive for the best. I don't think you should always try to look at, just the negatives first. I think you always should try to strive for the best. But with that being said, I understand where he's coming from, and I understand those people too were talking about it's going to get worse, and it will get worse. They're not wrong about that. But I can't emphasize this more, is that I just hope he himself is able to turn things around. When I say he's able to get a couple of results, which will keep him till the end of the season. And that's it. Now we go into the summer. This will be the first official summer with a new manager for these Ineos people. So back him like how you backed Ten Hag, because you were very wishy-washy about that whole situation. I think there was a report that someone said, I don't really believe it, but someone said that they identified Ruben in the summer, but they decided not to go with him because of his style of play. And then now all of a sudden you ended up sacking that manager, and you still went for Ruben in the middle of the season. So Ineos are wishy-washy, and I get it, but I just hope that he's there at the end of the summer and we do end up backing him, and then we see what he can produce in that second season. And I will be much, much more critical of him then. And I've been critical of him this season too. Like, I've complained about lineups, especially the lineup against Arsenal, especially the lineup against Forest as well. And people could say that it's maybe him trying to figure things out, trying to find out his best team. I think he's had ample of time to try to figure out what his best team is. But also, end of the day, he has to rotate. Certain players need to be given time. We're not going to try to do what Arsenal do to Bukayo Saka, and they try to play him in every single game when he's clearly our best outlet, even though I don't want Ahmed to pick up injuries and we don't have him in games that are really, really important. And that's just the nature of this squad. Our squad is terrible. Like, look at the players that we have and look at the options that we have. But again, I just emphasize, give him time. I think our fan base should back him. Anyone who's saying Amorim out is absolutely crazy, because to judge him off of this situation is very, very unfair. But yeah, I hope he gets time, and I hope Ineos back him, because I'm still very, very critical of Ineos too, and I don't trust him at all. I don't trust him at all. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. And Liverpool, just don't get embarrassed out there. That's what I would say to those guys, because we're gonna lose. It's gonna happen. We're definitely gonna lose. Salah is like literally in the best form of his life. Liverpool are on course to win a league title. It couldn't be better vibes for them at this moment. And it's Manchester United, it's a derby, and we're a vulnerable team at this moment. So it's the best time to get any type of result, and they're gonna be fully up for it. I can't say the same about our team. I really, really can't. I can't say the same. Our players are not up for it. Like for an away trip against Wolves, who are currently you could say battling relegation, and we're not up for a game like that. So what tells you that these players with this ship mentality will be up for a game like for Liverpool? So, and even Man City game, I can even say that I don't think they were fully up for it. I think we definitely, like, they were in the second half, we turned on the jets and we tried to get something from that game. But if Mateus Nunes doesn't make that penalty, that foul, then it's a whole different story for that game. And I could be sitting here on 5 losses in a row. So ideally, the problems are there. I see it. I'm not someone who's going to just, get on the manager because of whatever relegation rut that we're in. I completely understand where he's coming from, where our team is at, where our squad is at, where our club is at, where our owners are at, all of those type of things. And I wait until the end of the summer, and I just hope that he's there, man. That's really what it is for me. But yeah, Prime, you got anything to say about United? Sorry if I cut you guys off too. I went on a tangent. But yeah, we're not going to do the team of the season because I do have to close out too, and also I think it's better if we do the team of the season with everybody here. So yeah, we won't do that. But go on, Prime. Final few thoughts
on what in particular?
Just everything in general. United.
Oh, United. Who cares? No.
That's crazy.
You say right, it doesn't have to. You said it doesn't have to get better, but it doesn't have to get worse to get better. I mean,
I think that's a very bad way of looking at it. Like, I think that's an excuse. I think that's an excuse.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I think it's a realistic way to looking at it, especially what's going on at Man United. I compare it to what happened at Chelsea, even to an extent also what happened at Arsenal. Sometimes for people to open their eyes to how bad things are, it has to get bad.
But also, with that being said, I seriously believe this. I don't think this squad is capable of being in 14th and 15th. I think they're much better than that. Much better.
I agree. And the squad Chelsea,
even though they are shit, I still think they're much better than
the squad Chelsea had in 22-23 when we finished 12th. That squad wasn't bad enough to finish 12th, but the mentality, the poor recruitment planning for years previously, all just came to a point where everything just collapsed in one, which is a good thing. Sometimes you need to expose everything. And I'm not saying Amran's doing this on purpose, by the way, but it's something that I've been saying for weeks now, that sometimes you have to expose everything. Because previous seasons, Man United would have, say, a bad start, or they'd go through a rough patch for a month or so. But then you would finish top 4, or you finish second, or you'll win a trophy, or you'll get to a European final. So things would still look good. Rashford would get 20, 25 goals. Bruno would get 20 goals, etc. Things would still look good on paper.
Yeah.
But now, everything is bad. Even on paper, things are bad. So we can't even say, but United are playing poorly, but you're still 6th. You're still, 5 points off of 4th or whatever. Things are bad both on the eye and on the stats. And that's a good thing. You need to expose it. Your owners, like with Chelsea owners, they were in the stands, Boli Igbali. They were watching our games firsthand, live. They saw how bad everything was. Your owners are seeing how bad everything is. They're in your stadium watching. Now, the problem is, are Ineos actually good owners? Because it was not, again, I remember I said this when Ten Hag got sacked and you appointed Amran. I don't get why everyone's praising this, because only a few days ago, people were telling me that Ineos are worse than the Glazers. Now it's being praised. The transfer window you guys just had, I don't think it's a great window, because I've seen you guys do this before.
I said it was a 5 out of 10 window at that moment.
Because if I said to you, the Glazers are going to go and sign De Ligt, Mazouari, they're going to sign Ugarte, they're going to sign a player like Xerxes, you would tell me that's expected. Because Ineos did it, people think it's a brilliant window. Yeah. If I told you the Glazers would pretend that they're going to sack Ten Hag only to keep him because you win the FA Cup final, only to sack him after 3 international breaks had passed in the season, you would tell me, you know what, that seemed like something they would do. But because it's Ineos, everyone wants to act like it's great planning.
That's what I'm saying, though. Yeah, like I've
Ineos
been on their
they're not good. If you look at their track record, because they tried to buy Chelsea twice, and Sir Jim was sold as this thing of, I'm a Chelsea fan, I've got a season ticket,
I remember that.
Games.
I remember
now all of a sudden he's a Man United fan. Like, you guys are screwed, bro. And even if Ineos were good owners, they only own 25%. So really, if the Glazers say they don't want to spend, or they don't want to do this, or they don't want to do that, Ineos don't have much of a say.
Yeah,
Man
ultimately
United
the final say is with the Glazers. Yeah,
you're
the final say is
truly
with the Glazers.
screwed, and your fans won't realize this until things actually get bad.
I've got a bounce out, yeah.
Big up.
Yeah,
Big
see
up,
you
man.
there, yeah? See,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
talk.
Big up, brother, bro.
Yeah, love,
Take
bro.
care.
Appreciate you
Hey,
being on.
Happy New Year to you and the family, bro.
Happy New Year,
Yeah,
brother.
man. Happy New Year, bro.
We'll
Happy
talk.
New Year. Love.
But yeah, your
Yeah.
fans, like why I say it has to get bad is your fans have to realize this too.
Yeah.
But they won't. Chelsea fans still didn't see it. They were still even when it was bad and the season ended, they were still defending and saying, "Oh, it's not Mount and Havertz's fault. They have to stay." They were still crying. But with Chelsea, like we spoke about this earlier, the amount of money we spent, and people can say we've wasted on certain players. That's fine, but we've made back that money.
Yeah.
Man United,
but if you were to
assets, yeah.
Real quick, if you were to compare the squad that you guys had with Potter to our squad right now, because I actually can't remember the squad that you had with Potter, I would think that your squad's better than us currently on paper. Right?
No, I'm not talking about necessarily. I mean,
like at that time, this is just a generic question. It's not like I'm trying to make a point. It's just more so like, was your squad better than us currently?
Our goalkeepers, we had Kepa and Mendy. Our defenders were injury-prone Reece James, finished Azpilicueta, old man Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, who came to the Premier League and looked like an uncle.
You still had Mason
We had
Mount,
Trevor Chalobah. We had injury-prone Ben Chilwell, Alonso was sold at that time.
Did you have Enzo?
Midfield, we bought Enzo in January.
Okay.
So midfield was Enzo. We had Jorginho, who we sold to Arsenal in January. Injured Kovacic, injured Kante, Havertz, Mount, João Felix we signed on loan in January. Mudryk we signed on loan in January. We bought Madueke in January. Sterling we bought for a lot of money, 45 million I think in the summer. We bought Cucurella in the summer for 30-something mil, I think, or 40-something mil. Aubameyang we signed on a free. That was a bad signing. Yeah. No, he wasn't on a free actually, but so Aubameyang was a bad signing because he never got chances.
It was a loan.
Like it was, maybe you can say in quality in certain areas, but they just never played well.
Yeah.
And a lot of our best players were injury prone. So it was just it just didn't work, and things continued to just get bad. And the thing is, Potter came in, he tried playing his own way, didn't work, and then he adapted to the situation and just tried to get the best out of what he had, and that still didn't work. Listen, I rate Amorim, I really do, but I said this yesterday on Omar's channel. Shout out Omar. I was saying that United fans need to stop thinking about Amorim's going to fix everything. He's not.
Yeah, I don't think he's going
to. It's on your owners, bro. Amorim, as good as I rate Amorim, because people, I can't even lie. People know I rate Amorim.
Yeah.
But I said this when he got appointed. It's a big red flag to me that you choose mid-season to leave the amazing position you have at Sporting to go to this version of Man United when you could have waited at least until the end of the season and then potentially go to Man City.
But you know what it is? It's our board that told him that we're not gonna wait. We're not gonna wait for you until the end of the season. They told him it was now or never.
Yeah, but
he told the board that I want to be respectful to Sporting and I want to finish out my season with them and I'll come join at the end of the season. But it just shows again how wishy-washy they are because they have no clue on what to do. That they forced him to come to the
why did he want to come with the Man? But I get Man United historically, but currently I keep saying this, like, your history can only count for so much in the modern day. If you're not winning, that's why I say about Arsenal, and I say to Arsenal fans, you're not a big club in the modern day. I don't care about your history because you're, like Flawless always says, we can't Man United our way to a league title.
That's true.
You can't Man United your way to modern day success, and you're not doing it in modern day. If you just waited until the end of the season, look at how City are performing right now. He could go to Man City by the end of the season or go next summer to Man City. But now he's gone to Man United, and this has stagnated his career. Ten Hag, whether people rate him or not, because I don't rate him. But I remember
I didn't rate him.
when he joined Man United, the whole talk was, oh, he's the replacement for Pep. He's one of the best up-and-coming managers in Europe. He's amazing tactically. He revived Ajax. the same things were said about Amorim. And even though Amorim's a superior manager,
yeah,
his career will get ruined. And it's
yeah,
so
and I feel like
frustrating.
it's a little bit on him too, because he's the one who accepted this challenge. He's the one who decided to do this in the first place. So it's like
Mhm.
that's why most of the time I'm like, okay, like when people are not like basically in situations where I feel like you can criticize Amram, I do criticize him in the aspect that like if you knew that it was going to be like this, and if you knew that this is probably the highest ceiling that you can achieve with this squad, then why did you join? Knowing that your everything, like you just said, your credibility will be on the line. The fact that you might not get approached by bigger clubs in the future because of just how your run with Man United went, like all those things, I feel like matter. And knowing all those things, I feel like he still ended up accepting it. Now, whether it's like RSV said, whether it's the fact that he could get approached by Man City or by Madrid, and if the board were scared for that, ultimately what I just see is that it's still at the end of the day an Ineos fuck up, because you shouldn't be in this situation forcing a manager to come save your season and then now not hoping or now like wondering why your season can't be saved. And that's why I'm like, it's wishy-washy from the beginning. From the moment these guys stepped in, it's been wishy-washy. It just screams that they don't okay, like it's the great example, the best example that I could give is like PSG under Poch. If you put Neymar, Mbappe, or Messi in a side, it doesn't guarantee you a Champions League. Just because you put the best people in one specific institution doesn't always guarantee success. The Brooklyn Nets did it. They had KD, they had James Harden, they had Kyrie Irving in their team. The furthest that they got to was, I think, the second round of the playoffs. So it's like, this is what I'm talking about, is that it's not always you just put the best bunch in one basket and you just expect things to work. And I feel like Ineos have done that. The first thing that they stepped in was, we want to get the best of the best. They go get Omar Barada from Man City. They go get Dan Ashworth from, even though I don't think Dan Ashworth was the best of the best, but they go get Dan Ashworth from Newcastle, Jason Wilcox from Southampton. You've got a bunch of these guys who have done notable work in their past, but for the first time are working together and are working at a some of them are working at a very, very big club, a magnitude of a club that they haven't worked at before, other than Omar Barada, of course. But yeah, and now they're talking about best of the best, but then what do? You hire the best of the best. You give the best of the best like resources to go spend money. You also keep the manager who I thought has been very, very like, he's been terrible, and he was terrible for us last season. And you kind of just beat around the bush in terms of whether you should keep him or not. You met with managers in the summer. You said it's not good enough. You decided to keep him. You backed him. You still met with managers after that when things were starting to go bad. You had a whole 10-hour meeting of whether we should keep him or not. And then ultimately, when he had a bad result against West Ham, and I still say this, if we had won against West Ham, they would have kept him. They sack him. And then a day later, Ruben Amorim is linked with us. And in a couple of days, he's already over the line. So it's like, I'm not gonna, like you said earlier, I'm not gonna sit here and applaud them for getting Ruben Amorim in the club, even though I wanted someone like Ruben Amorim in the club. I'm not gonna sit there and applaud them for doing that when they had massive fuck ups before that. And it's like, it's just like, you don't shoot someone and then you applaud them for taking you to the hospital. They shot you in the first place, like you don't do shit like that. So it's like, that's where I'm just kind of like, Ineos have been definitely majority of the blame for the type of situation that we're in, just because they have no idea how to run a big football club like this, which is okay. Sometimes you're just not built for shit. And that's just what it is. I found out that I'm not built to be a professional soccer player, but trust me, I wanted to be a professional soccer player, but I'm just not built for it. And that's sometimes when you figure out that certain managers are not built for certain jobs, certain owners are not built for certain institutions. And I think we're finding that out about Ineos. And me and Flawless more so, but I still kind of gave Ineos a benefit of the doubt when they first stepped in. But Flawless said this from the beginning. He never trusted Ineos even coming in when we were linked with them. He never looked at Ineos and was like, okay, I see these guys as being like real game changers for us. And we're seeing that now. We're literally seeing that now. The only thing I appreciated Ineos for was at least hiring a proper CEO with footballing expertise. Glazers kept Woodward for a decade and gave Arnold the keys. Those guys are chartered accountants. You know what's crazy, RSV, and I agree with you. You know what's crazy, though, is that Ed Woodward actually would have sacked Ten Hag much, much before Ineos did. and that which is the craziest thing. But I'm not sitting here saying we should have kept Ed Woodward and whatever. That's a chapter that we have already closed and we shouldn't be bringing up. But your overall point is right, is that they have in certain areas done well, but the most important areas is where they have fallen short. For example, the transfer window. I said it was a 5 out of 10 because these signings are good signings, but they're not signings that needed to be addressed. They're not in areas that needed to be addressed. We needed attackers, and we sold our best attacker for chump change to, you could say, a rival, to Chelsea, for a loan to obligation to buy. And whether he's doing well at Chelsea right now or not, all I can tell you is that he would do good in the system, and the system is something for him. But we let players like that go. We let someone like Varane go. There were talks about Casemiro being phased out by Ten Hag as well at that certain time. So it's like, these are all the things that I'm talking about. You gave control to Ten Hag, Ineos. You gave control to Ten Hag this season. Ten Hag has had control the past season too before you guys stepped in. Keep the same energy for Ruben Amorim. That's all I'm saying. Just keep the same energy for Ruben Amorim. Yeah, Ugarte and Mazraoui were basically the only proper signings being addressed. Yeah, I get that. We sold Wan-Bissaka, so we needed a right back. And we needed someone like Ugarte because of Casemiro's legs and stuff like that too. And Christian Eriksen is also someone who doesn't really have legs like that too. So yeah, it's overall, I think the point that me and Prime are trying to make is that a lot of it is on Ineos, and a lot of our owners definitely need to be looked at. And he's right. It's like, what possible evidence could suggest that things are going to get better? Because from what we've seen since day one that Ineos have stepped through the door is just massive fuck ups. And it just screams that you have no clue. So we'll see. We'll see what basically goes on. But I'm hoping for a better 2025, man. 2024, as a Manchester United fan, was terrible, even despite us lifting trophies that season. I had our worst ever season in the Premier League. I had my worst ever season in the Champions League. I had I broke records after records. It's so crazy how many records are reset now. Like, there are records that we had for 20, 30 years, and they're all reset. So because of that fraud Ten Hag, but it is what it is. And Ineos needs to fix OT first. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. These guys, they're talking about building new stadiums. I kind of get it, because the current stadium, they don't take care of it and they don't want to put money on it. But again, when it comes to building a new stadium, and when the first reports came out of that, I already saw a blueprint a day later. Like, these guys already came out with a blueprint a day later on how that shit's going to look like. But when it comes to actual on-field decisions and shit that actually would improve our club, they're incompetent. And yeah, that's really what I'll just leave it at. But cool. Big up to everyone. We will be closing out. Didn't Ten Hag have 2 wins in 11 or something in Europe? Yes, he did. He did. We didn't have an away win under Ten Hag for a while, I think. And then Ruben Amorim changed that when we beat Victoria Pleasant in the Europa League. So yeah, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. But Ten Hag was given his time, especially by me. Ten Hag was given ample amount of time. Ten Hag was given ample amount of resources, and it didn't work out. That's what you call something that failed, because you can actually judge him based off of the time that he was here. Ruben Amorim, we can't really judge him because this is the worst situation to be put into, which he agreed to. So it is what it is. But yeah, we will be closing out. I think this was a very, very good episode of the Mud Brothers Show. Obviously, shout out to George, Durag Diaries, for being on the show for the first time ever. We're definitely going to try to get him on for other games, and sometimes for like match previews and stuff like that. And we'll get him on a show with M. De Niro too, so we can have them kind of discuss their thoughts about Spurs as fans. Shout out to Prime, of course. Shout out to CP. Shout out to Don C as well, covering up for Eli today. He's also someone that I'll be bringing on the channel a lot more. Really, really like Don C. But yeah, big up to the guys in the chat too. Big up to African Cat, who dropped the first ever super chat on the channel. Trust me, African Cat, I will never forget you, bro. I will never forget you, because you are the first person who dropped a super chat in the chat. So thank you for supporting. Thank you for all the guys in the chat too. Casper, Penquino, RSV, AJ, we have African Cat, like I said, Coach's Corner, M. De Niro, H, who else is here? Let's see, Daniel, BX Gunner 81, shout out to you, always supporting as well. And I think that is, and yeah, Abs from our group chat as well, shout out to him too. And Oregon Dal, who was here too as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. Steve, make sure you guys subscribe to his channel too. But yes, people, that has basically been episode 40. we're not going to do predictions because we don't have the rest of the guys here, to be honest, and we're not going to do the team of the season either because we don't have the rest of the guys here. They're absolutely frauds, but it is what it is. It's my fault, really. The show's gone on for 2.5 hours, and every single time it's not meant to, but it just does. But time flies when you're having fun, right? So it is what it is. But big up to everyone. Thank you guys all for tuning in for episode number 40. In terms of what I have coming up next, tomorrow I'm starting a new show every single Friday, which I'm calling the Stretford Chronicles, because it's basically going to be just a weekly show where I talk about everything Manchester United related. So up until the Friday, whatever we've heard from in the week will be discussed on that show. I'm starting it off as a solo show, even though tomorrow I will be live with Taz21. Make sure you guys check out his channel too. And also make sure you guys check out his TikTok. He is one funny guy, I'll tell you that. But yeah, he's going to be with me.
Taz is actually,
yeah, Taz is hilarious.
Bro. I don't even go on TikTok that much, but like whenever I do, he's
Taz is hilarious. He's always giving smoke to someone, man. But yeah, he's gonna be with me on the show tomorrow, and then we'll probably see other guests. Not gonna have Flawless tomorrow because it's actually his birthday. So definitely, guys, don't forget to wish Flawless a happy birthday at 12 a.m.
Wish that while I had a happy birthday.
Yes, wish that while I had a happy birthday at 12 a.m. today. But yeah, next week I will have him on the show. You'll see a lot of guests like that on the show, basically, but it's gonna be a new show that I'm adding on to it. So now you have basically a couple of shows on the Chic TV catalog, which is Mud Brothers, that show, and then obviously match reactions and stuff like that too. So yeah, big up to everyone. Thank you guys for all supporting as always. And 2025 is going to be a big year because we're going to turn on the Jets and we're going to try to get this channel booming. So I appreciate all the support so far in 2024 and 2025. Yeah, man, we're going to go all guns blazing. So here we go. And yeah, big up to everyone. Prime. His TikTok is in the description. Definitely check out his TikTok as well. And he's very active on Twitter and stuff like that too. And he's also very good at clips. So yeah, he posts a lot of clips here and there. Check out his Instagram, check out the Twitter, check out his TikTok and stuff as well. And subscribe to everybody else. Do Rag Diaries' channel was in this description. M. De Niro's channel is in the description. Spooby, who was not here, his channel is also in the description. And Eli's Twitch is also in the description. Big up to Pankino. I remember I seen you on the show yesterday, so I appreciate you for subscribing, bro, and also showing up. So yeah, appreciate that. Love to everyone. We will catch you guys next week for episode number 41, and we're
not going to do a preview. Oh wow, there's only 2 of us actually.
Yeah,
we don't need to do a preview.
Okay. Yeah, it's only 2 of us, but yeah, we'll catch you guys next week on Monday for episode number 41, and then tomorrow we'll catch you for the first episode of Stretford Chronicles over here on Chic TV. Big up, and everyone take care. Bless.
Peace.
Arteta in.